I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. Commissioner McClure and I are here. Paul Klowski will be on Zoom. Miranda's here as secretary. I entertain a motion on the minutes for February 11th.
I make a motion to accept the board minutes for February 11th, 2025.
Nice.
I'll second that motion.
Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion been carried and passed.
Oh, sorry, you could ask.
All right, we'll move into correspondence. First one from Brandon Jesse. He lives up Edwards Gulch. That's up behind the football field in Drummond. And he's complaining that his road hasn't been plowed since Friday morning at the earliest. Well, they don't work weekends. And I mean, we only have 2 guys down there. These people keep calling and complaining. They're doing as best as they can. And yes, they plowed yesterday, did the bus runs to make sure they plowed on the holiday, Brandon. So he said he had to park his car at school because he couldn't make it home. And he's saying that I would guarantee that if there was an emergency, an ambulance or fire truck would not make it up there. I expect more as a taxpayer of this county. You know, Paul can read that. You know, next year is one of these crazy years. I mean, we're just getting dumped and dumped with snow. What are we gonna do?
No.
Everybody keeps calling and complaining that we're not doing nothing.
I had 6 people call me yesterday
Me too.
and bitch at me because I'm not plowing the streets in Beaver. Okay, but it's not our streets.
Call the city.
Yeah, oh, I transferred them out.
Oh, excuse me, call the town of Phillipsburg.
Yeah,
It's not a
right.
city.
Next one's from Joan Redine on cruise and stone wildlife fencing out at 990 near Drummond. That'd be east of Drummond. Both the week of February 24th. We're gonna start putting up higher fence out there so the elk don't come across the road. It's funny how they complain about a county road, but yet their driveways are worse. It's my thought. Next one's from Alexander, I don't know how to say his last name, he's a lawyer for Fish, Wildlife and Parks. With Agency Legal Counsel.
And that was took care of before 7 o'clock this morning. Just so you guys know.
Thanks. You can call him just say, before you.
Yeah.
The next one's on the event if commission deems if it's necessary to increase the outflows to 15 this week. We have not gotten back to you. Please reach out to me and I will inform you on the decision if we want to go up to 15 instead of 12. The next one's from Kristen Kukin from Dane's office. I don't know how you say her last name. And she's just saying, thanks for reaching out. She's gonna get a hold of us on some of this stuff, on the grants and stuff. That's it on the correspondence.
Was that it?
That was that Chris from Dane's office, that spokesman or spokeswoman.
It should have been. Just-
Oh,
She, isn't it?
that one from the Department of Transportation in regards to requesting information on any bridge construction repair activities under your jurisdiction. Not doing nothing.
Or is this a sheet you do every year?
What's that?
This sheet here, do you do this every year or what?
Yeah,
Cause so this is,
it's just all NA because we don't have any projects.
say that again,
It's just all NA because we don't have any projects, so.
And the next one is from Abusive Conduct Prevention.
it's from Jackie. Safety training. So that's the safety training. Yep. If you guys want to read it and sign it.
Yeah, I made her have that.
Careful. Is there any public comment on the correspondence? Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. For the record, Elena Gagliano, and I guess you can hear me, I hope?
Yep.
Thank you. On the correspondence, are you going to take action on any of them? You know, for agenda discussion? That one from Kristen Culkin from Senator Dane's office. That's interesting what she said regarding the grants and the different grants that were available. And I guess it was sent earlier, or there was a letter sent earlier to Billy, and hoping that you read it. I don't know where that is now. It was there, I saw it. But even this one is sent from his office, and it was sent to the addresses, which is wrong. Scott Adler, Chuck Hinkle, and B.M. Clore. You know, that should be corrected on the website as to the correct contact information for, that's just, you know, a suggestion. I know the website is terrible and it's in the process of being updated, and I hope it is really quickly updated. But as far as, you know, some of the actions on the correspondence, if a person is unhappy with something, don't you intend to send them a reply and saying that you can do this and or it will be referred to? I mean, I think they send you a letter. I think you should reply to them at least.
Betsy's gonna get a hold of us and we'll set up a meeting. And the other correspondence on the bridge, we talked to the road supervisors, which is sitting here, Paul, all, and we have no bridge stuff going on. And the other stuff is a safety thing from Jackie. It's all fine. Thank you.
Thank you, but you're still doing it wrong. Thank you.
Oh. Wish I could be that perfect. All right, we'll go ahead into public comment. On these claims, half of them were already signed. the claims, you know, when we get into them, there was a bunch of them already signed, I didn't know what. If there was a certain date,
They were already signed.
a bunch of them were. I just signed the other ones, I guess I'll have to go and ask her what the deal was, but there's a bunch of them already signed last week.
Did she have it maybe?
Miranda, they have to call you on that, pay, you know,
Yeah.
and where it says NA on the two first bids.
Mhm.
It's just the reason we always put NA on is because they've never been mined for 10, 15 years. I have
Oh,
no
okay.
idea when they were mined, but
Yeah.
never since we were here, so.
That on, Paul?
On the gravel pit report. We were just.
Well, we'll get a con, you know, they're wondering what we're talking about, so that's why I asked.
Oh,
That's fine. Did that.
Yeah, I'll get this done today.
it's something we were doing, not to do with the meeting. How are you?
What are you doing?
Good, yourself?
Good. Boy, I'll tell you what, keeping those roads clear is
Thank
a
you.
task, isn't it?
It is a task. That's saying it lightly. I know.
It's public comments, so you can come right up and talk about that. Cause they moved it to March 11th, did you see it on the?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Miranda called me this morning and advised me of that, so I was fully informed before I even started driving.
Any public,
Well, it turns 50 degrees next week.
You know, boy, when that turns all into swamp,
That's gonna be terrible.
it's gonna be terrible.
yeah. It's gonna be scary, cause the ground froze, where's the water gonna go?
We'll have 8 days of in the mid to high 40s.
We're gonna have flood. That's gonna be the next thing.
What are your culverts looking like, Paul?
Actually pretty good. The one that we were having the most trouble with got opened up.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You clicking a pen?
Maybe.
Maybe it's cause he's wearing a Yankees hat.
It ain't a Yankees hat. Oh no, Dodger blue, if I have one.
I'm just teasing you.
Well, that's good that my microphone works that good.
Loud and clear.
Is there any public comment?
You don't have any public comment?
About what? I just got here, so I can make all kinds of public comments, but I don't even know what the topic is.
You can bring up whatever you want, right now is the time to do it.
Don't you have an agenda that you're going to go through here?
Yeah, but if you had something you wanted to talk about, we can talk about it right now.
Then I miss out on listening to Paul give his report about the road.
Oh, no, you can stay during that too.
That letter to Senator Becky Beard. I just want to see our government in action for a while. I think this was the item that I am here on is the flashing lights on Highway 1 in Paul.
Okay.
It was set for 10:10.
Yep.
So if you want me to make public comment on any of it, but I don't even know what the topic is.
Well, we're kind of waiting for an update on cattle prices.
Oh, well, I always have too, so do you have that?
Well, we're a few minutes early, but we'll go ahead and jump into weekly report with Road and Bridge. Paul.
Everybody everybody's just plowing snow. That's just what we're doing. Got one guy on a blade, about two blades going tomorrow, and depending on the weather, but, yeah, right now we're just plowing, just can't stay ahead of it. And it's so damn light, just blowing everywhere,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Visibility zero.
No, I think
You know.
they're doing a good job. I don't, that's about all you can do, is keep hitting every day. And for the record, they were out yesterday.
Oh, yeah. And Saturday and Sunday.
They're saying that they're not, they are.
Right. Like yesterday, just an example, like we had him complaining there, he never got his driveway done, his road done. But we got all the bus routes done, all the stuff that made the difference when we had the guys come in for, cause yesterday was a holiday. And you're just not gonna get every single road done on a day like that. But
I think
he was done by 7 o'clock this morning, I'd say, so. That's just the way it is.
well, some of them just have to have a little patience. I mean, there's a lot of snow, it's taking them twice as much to move it. And they're acting like, you know, they're on the last of the list, but you just have a,
Well, that road is on the last of the list. The way it is.
Where does that road stop at city and then turn into county there? Is it right at the football field or down by the interstate?
no, it's up
No, it
by,
goes up above the football field, past the last house right there, and then you cross the cattle guard, and then we take over from there. And
Okay.
he lives about a couple 100 yards or whatever, maybe a little farther than that, but anyway, then we go up there about, oh, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile or so.
Okay.
So do we want to respond to this?
no, he's out,
Did you
He
visit
answered
with Brandon?
His mother.
Is nothing? That's the one to visit with, no?
Yeah, no.
So this actually, this email was sent yesterday. And it was sent yesterday evening, actually.
That's what I'm saying, they gotta have a little patience, I mean, these guys are doing the best they can, and they gotta remember we're one guy down, so.
Yeah, well,
The bus run comes first,
always has.
we're staying that way, we're not gonna start changing this cause somebody wants something done like today. So your road's not getting plowed, Chuck, you're gonna have to just do it.
Yeah, they haven't been plowing up to our lane at the ranch or at all. I can't understand that. No,
That's why I tried to get you out of here before my deal.
I have to tell you what, I'm in a position where I live, where I see these guys working all the time, so I know I know that they're working hard and this is a very unusual year from the standpoint of snow, so I'm sure that, they're working extraordinarily hard just to try to keep up with, like you said, you can't stay ahead of it the way it's been going.
If that wind comes up, we're gonna be in real trouble.
And the only possible thing, I suppose, is if there is a melting event, it'll crust up and there won't be as much blowing snow, but boy, a lot of things are gonna happen when it gets warm. None of them are good, I don't think.
No, in that many days in a row, it's not good.
No, we're gonna,
But who knows, it changes every 5 minutes, so it could be snowing for another week.
Can introduce himself.
oh, I'm sorry, you're supposed to introduce
Oh,
yourself.
Oh, excuse me, I'm Chuck Johnson, I live at 114 South Broadway in the city of Hall, Montana.
Keyword city.
Not only has Broadway Avenue, it has a Main Street. It's so, I mean, what more could you want out of the city?
Apparently a flashing light.
Incorporated, maybe.
You got anything on solid waste?
I don't. No, it's kind of quiet, but it's just that time of year for it, you know?
A lot of snow up Rock Creek, isn't there?
There is.
Holy, they got more snow that way than we did. I drove up there, wow.
Yeah, it's the season.
Mm-hmm.
The little kids are happy.
They are.
They're the only ones I know.
Yeah, sledding and skiing.
We went up behind the rock quarry, and there's a good 4 feet, there's probably another foot now. Talked to Gordy Paskey yesterday, he was plowing, he figured he's got over 4 feet in his yard.
Well, got it.
Up there behind Manley's Ranch,
Yes.
where he lives back there, he said,
Yeah.
man, it's tough. You have anything else? You got anything, Paul?
Did Blaine talk to you about reaching out to Cameron Razor for this road deal?
He said something, but he's not here yet. I
Oh,
don't
you
know
didn't?
what-
Okay.
There ain't public comment on the road and bridge report.
This Chuck Johnson, again, I would just, for the record, I just want to tell you, I do live in a place where I can observe the county road crew working very diligently during this time, and the snowfall, it really hasn't stopped. As soon as you laid away, 3-4 inches, why pretty soon there's gonna be 3-4 more inches, right after you've left. So it's been one of those types of couple of weeks anyway.
Thanks. No, I think they're doing a good job. It's just building up faster and faster. It's just hard to get rid of it.
Round and round, that's all there is to it. Be nice if it was heavier, had some weight, more moisture.
Yeah.
We gotta put
Except when I'm shoveling by hand, I'm glad it's lighter.
true,
Well, we'll
Can't get
get the
that-
moisture when it melts next week.
right? I don't know who's gonna go to Makers yet, speaking of that, or thinking about that. See who wants to go, I guess, and whoever wants to go, go. I guess that's the plan, like always, right?
Yep.
Got Jim and David's gonna do that mowing safety class. That's, his computer, so be at the shop,
Virtual.
yeah. Wasn't sure of that word.
I get it, and then make sure and get them signed, get it in, so we can send it on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got a few more minutes, and then we can.
So Paul, is that Paul Kolaski that's on the other side of this monitor that I'm looking at there?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah.
so Paul, Chuck, what kind of snow do you have at your place?
A lot. There's probably over 2.5 feet out on the flat, I bet.
Is that? Oh,
When the cows get out, I gotta use a snowmobile now.
That, wanna play with that toggle today a little bit and see how it works. On the
Do what?
toggle thing, back and forth, when somebody's speaking, literally.
Go ahead, Elena. On public comment on road and solid waste.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a question. It was a letter to Jason Riddle from Blaine. And it involves Lakeshore Drive. And it says there's attached photographs, but I don't see the attached photographs on that. On the website.
They were loaded, they were not a PDF,
They were what?
not a PDF form,
So apparently there was difficulties getting them loaded in media form.
It's a picture of a blade.
Yeah, I read the letter and it says attached and they should be attached. I mean, on the agenda, there's going to be a big major discussion this afternoon. Well, this morning, later this, and you know, regarding Fish and Forest Service and Cameron Razor. Yeah, I think the spelling is wrong on that. Cameron Ranger. Anyway, that's the letter and it's part of the documents and the photograph should be attached with it. And that's my public comment.
No.
I clicked on them, they all came up.
Did they,
Did you hear that, Elena?
on the
Oh, I'm
website?
looking at it and it's not attached to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so she's looking at the website and she can't see them on the website. But on your email, you can see them.
Correct.
And I've seen them too on the email, but they're not attached to the website, so apparently having
You want
problems getting them on the website.
You want us to send you a picture of the blade?
I can forward it.
Do you wanna send her an email?
Yeah.
Forward that email so that you can see the pictures? Sorry,
No, you're fine, no, they're fine, it's just,
lost you.
Thank you, Blanche. The document should be uploaded on the website also. That's my comment.
Forwarding it to her right now.
no, thanks, Miranda, it's all right, you're doing a good job. County Attorney Blaine Bradshaw is here now.
Good morning.
We'll go ahead and, is there anything else on the road and solid waste? If not, we'll go ahead and jump into the letter to State Senator Becky Beard regarding House Bill 369. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Well, I mentioned, to Miranda on the last paragraph. There's the sentence, third sentence down. We want to work without the landowners of Georgetown Lake.
Oh,
That last paragraph.
I don't think we want to work without them. We
No,
wanna
that's
work
just a
with
typo.
The landowners.
Yeah. That was me. I'll take credit for it.
we'll change that and sign it, or need a motion on that.
I've communicated with her back and forth about 369, so she's aware of it.
Did you read the letter, Paul?
House Bill.
Yeah,
69.
Go ahead, Blaine, feel it.
So, do you know the history of Lakeshore Drive?
Well, I don't know.
So it's a Forest Service road that the commission in the past has maintained there because of negotiations with the Forest Service. They said Congress isn't giving me funding, so it's one used by folks up there that connects upper and lower Georgetown Road. But so here this legislative session, Mr. Fitzpatrick sponsored a bill that would create a road maintenance district that bypasses the county commissions and basically allows, once it's passed, once the district's formed, they could take funds out of the county road fund for that and it's for county roads that were once maintained by county. And so I went and, testified at the hearing there 2 weeks ago. There was a bunch of county commissioners from small counties there, because they were talking about how this was, he was, Mr. Fitzpatrick was, thinking he was doing a real narrow type, bill there, but it would affect others as well. I did say you would amend the, basically, there's not a cap on the spending, so it could be unlimited. When I testified against it, I said, well, we already have the road improvement district, statutes already on the books. Potentially looking at that. That hearing turned in kind of ugly, and the county commission was really bashed there, I thought. What I said to that committee was, they haven't come in and talked to us again here since Mr. Glasky's been in to come talk to them and try to work out something. I think the commission wants to meet with Forest Service again. Meantime, I want to let Senator Becky Beard know what this is about. Been meeting with Mr. Fitzpatrick by Zoom today.
Thank you.
Would you be interested in that, if he sent you that Zoom or that, when they testify so you could hear it?
I could access it by Zoom if I went home.
Yeah, if you can look at just look up House Bill 369.
Yeah.
That was my frustration, is they hadn't come back to talk to the commission, so hopefully we can sit down and work it out versus bringing a kind of a local issue up to the state legislature.
Well, what happened, how I feel pretty much that our representatives centered on Granite County on this proposed bill and centered on every negative aspect he could come up with about how we're not doing our job, and actually when Mr. Bradshaw got up to testify, it was almost like he had to try to defend us, and they even questioned why one of us weren't up there. And we didn't realize it was going to be an attack on Granite County is the reason that he proposed this. And so had we known this, I definitely would have been up there with you to testify. Basically, this is a bad bill. All the make-overs against it. And he's centering on Granite County, and it turned right into where we couldn't even hardly defend ourselves because it was so negative.
Yeah,
It was sad. It was very
one
sad.
point the chair had to stop someone from asking me questions because it got so got me out of line. But
So I'd entertain a motion on the changes on the letter to send.
Oh, okay, I'll make that motion to change. We want to work with the landowners at Georgetown Lake, not without the landowners at Georgetown Lake, and sign this letter.
I'll second that motion.
Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion been carried.
How did Senator Beard react to your conversation?
she, made a positive conversation. She just said, thanks for the heads up, I have this mark, so she's gonna look into it. The way I took it.
Just a bad deal.
The thing I see is, I don't see House Bill 369 passing, but it's still, that's why I think regardless, we should be trying to work this out, I think,
Yes,
and that's,
absolutely.
it's for the best interest of people, but.
Being a representative, you think he'd work for the whole, not just pick one county.
That,
That's my problem.
I hope he's, yeah, sit down with this. No, I talked to, well, Commissioner Kolaski said no one's even called him about it, so, I mean,
I haven't heard a word. Besides what we, you know.
yeah.
Well, I just figured since I'm the representative for that district that they would have called and, you know, voice their concerns and asked what we were going to do moving forward with it, but I haven't heard nothing.
From the homeowners?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did. I got 2 phone calls.
Okay.
And they want to work with us. They want to possibly, but what I visited with Blaine concerning this, that they'd like to have a meeting before the meeting with the commission, just to maybe voice some details that possibly need to be addressed, and looking at what the cost would be for them to even take it over as a special district. But so my feeling is, and I was strong on this when it was opposed by the other 2 commissioners, that we maintain this road and continue to maintain it. And so I visited with Dr. Stokey, and I suggested that they get a hold of you, Paul, because we couldn't both be going there because it would be a quorum.
So the Georgetown Lake Homeowners Association is
Georgetown Lake
gonna meet.
homeowners,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Any other public, go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. For the record, again, I brought up the webpage, the inaccurate information that's on there, contact information. And it's possible that Commissioner Kolaski didn't get any calls because there's nothing there regarding telephone number and email address. And there should be one for each person. I think Blanche does have one. That's is.gov, her. And not many people go to the website to read, you know, the email that's sent to them if it's just sent to commissioners. And so that could be part of the problem. And there are other bills that are before, and just one thing as far as attending the meetings up at the legislature, they are available on Zoom. And there are other bills that will affect the counties, Granite County, the cities, the towns, and that's up for a hearing too. And be interesting to see some of the county attorneys from county commissioners from Granite County attend those to testify. So they know the bills that will affect this county. Thank you.
NACO does send an update, and they're tracking closely, and they do have other county commissioners go, but you guys are invited as well. Paul Kolaski's phone number is right in the phone book. I'm not, someone wants to get a hold of Paul Kolaski, they can get a hold of Paul Kolaski.
Blaine, it's supposed to be public information, and it's supposed to be easy for us to find this information. This is a big county. People don't travel to see it posted on the Oak Street, the oak tree on Maple Street. They don't do that. And with the weather and the way things are, there's a lot of people that can't get out. I can't get out from here. So I'm just, for the record, it's supposed to make it, it's supposed to be convenient for the people. And if, you know, that's all I'm saying. We should be able to go to the website and look at the information and keep up to date with the conversations that each commissioner is having with the people. So we know what's going on. Thank you.
Listen, you just keep cutting him off.
So I don't disagree with you on, I think it should be easy, it should be on the website, it should be easy to get a hold of them. But you also made the statement that was one of the reasons why potentially someone didn't get a hold of him. I don't agree with that. If someone wants to get a hold of Paul Kolaski, they're gonna get a hold of him.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna go into, to the next agenda item, the dam tenders report, Georgetown Lake. Outflow. It's 9.24 below full flow, 64, 28.73, and we're still at 12. Recommendation, I think a person should go up to 15. I think this stuff, if it starts getting warm now, we're gonna be in trouble. That's just my opinion.
You see the response back from Fishwell Park that they just wanted to see the report from Todd Blythe.
They wanna see the report.
Yeah, Todd Blythe, they wanted an updated report from Todd Blythe. He did one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I agreed to maybe look at bumping it up with the warm weather coming. There's like 40 inches of snow in Peterson Meadows and 8 inches of moisture in that snow. So I think we're gonna get a lot of water next week if we do get this warm weather.
You gonna make that motion, Paul?
I'll motion to bump it up to 15.
I'll second it.
Public comment? Yeah,
So, oh,
go ahead.
15 subject to the agency approval, correct?
Yeah, yep.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Jump it up to 15 soon as we hear them. Hopefully we can get it going
I'll email this morning.
quicker than
Yeah,
next week,
I'll email this morning.
cause it's,
Yeah,
I mean,
Can
this
we
stuff is
go-
gonna hit. We better be prepared.
yeah.
Didn't we go for 15 last week?
No, I just wanted to ask, it told me to, email the agencies and get their thoughts, and that's what, the only response back was, from Fish, Wildlife and Parks, saying that they wanted to hear from Todd Blythe first.
I mean, they can look up the reports too. You know, they can go on there and see
Yeah.
what the moisture content and everything is, just like Paul, you know, he
Yeah.
looks it up every week.
They just like his the modeling he does and based on best evidence, but it's not perfect either.
All right, well, we're a minute ahead, but we'll go into claims and discussion and decision. They're right here, Glenn.
So
Bunch of them were already from last week. I'm not quite sure. I'll go and ask what the deal was.
if you want, I looked at the report here and you can go ahead and finish signing them. I don't see anything that unnecessarily leads to,
I entertain a motion
basically-
to accept the claims in.
yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the claims. These are still December, or not December, January claims for, 2025.
I'll second that motion.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry on. We're in back here.
You have to.
Oh, trying to get through this weather.
So maybe we could put our email
Yeah.
addresses, would you be okay with that, Paul, with your email address in the contact
Yeah.
information for,
Get a little more too.
on the website?
Looks like.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
On the
Yeah.
commissioner's
Yes, on the
page.
commissioner's contact.
Make things.
Just
go-
emails.
it's more slippery
Emails.
out there.
Yeah.
And they can
Gas
call me.
Get down into the. pool.
And then also, what, you know, they'll get hold of you if you need to get a hold of
I'll be back.
Okay, I will do that.
And if we're in the book, we're in the book, because that's how they found me. Is
Yeah.
My home phone number was in the book.
Yeah, no one's
So-
called me for that.
Get rid of that.
That's what's being done on the building, the courthouse building here to the north with the scaffolding. I'm not aware of just what the.
We are getting an elevator. So I think they started. When did they start? But the elevator's here and it's stored and they're just waiting to get it put in. And then they had to do some remodeling to the jury room and they put new bathrooms in. AD1, whatever the 88.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, you should take a little tour up there and look upstairs so the elevator's they'll be able to get it right here when you come in that door, there'll be a where it says the sheriff's, it'll be wider, you can go in there and catch the elevator to the, top floor, and then also it'll be in the basement too. That'll come up and get to this level, so yeah,
So it's an interior elevator.
interior elevator, yeah,
Super.
Yeah.
Great.
yeah. And we used ARPA funds to, finance it,
Well, that's quite a nice addition to the
Yeah.
courthouse.
yeah. They kept it as historic as possible, so I
Yeah.
think it's gonna look. I don't know if we'll get people coming in just to ride the elevator.
Probably you'll get a few.
Yeah, it's been, almost a year now, I think, that we've been kind of working on that, getting it ready and set up. A lot of work, had to do a lot of drilling and,
No, I would guess. Firm foundation
Yeah.
for it. Is it hydraulic or what's the mechanism? Is it a hydraulic elevator or is it cables or how is it?
I'm not
what's the
sure.
Mechanism of
do you
it?
know what it is, Miranda?
I don't.
Or does somebody just have to pull a rope?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not that.
No.
Real historic. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, that would be real historic.
Well, in a lot of those older homes, they had not necessarily elevators, but had dumbwaiters.
Dumbwaiters.
To take the food and up to
Yeah.
different levels in a home and then to take the dishes so the staff, the servants didn't have to walk up and downstairs all the time. So this is just a bigger dumbwaiter.
No, I think it must be hydraulic.
Oh, yeah. Well, they have actually improved some elevators for homes, so they're operated on air pressure. So I'd just be interested to know what a lot of the elevators are hydraulic, as you say. Does Scott have to get a check for each one of those claims issued?
I don't know.
Randy, do you live in town?
I do. Well, right outside of town, up Stewart Lake Road.
Oh, you did,
Yeah.
Stewart Lake Road?
Yeah.
How far up Stewart Lake Road?
We're probably technically the first house out of city limits.
Oh,
Yeah, right past the fence line there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just right up here, real close to work now.
so, I'm somewhat familiar with that road. They've improved it quite a bit, haven't they, the road?
Yeah, they have. Yes,
'Cause that-
yeah, especially if we're going all the way to the lake.
Absolutely, or all the way up to what we call Mud Springs, taking that road that goes
Over,
over to Wyman Gulch.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure that hasn't been improved.
No, that stayed the same.
So the road up to your house is improved a lot.
Yes, yep. And we plow, to our driveway, but we have quite a long driveway, so we just plow that and plow our neighbor and
Oh, yeah, you see,
Down to
I have quite a view.
So what-
don't you?
Yes,
What
yeah,
kind
we
of
get the
elevator? Is
the
it
long john and then the
hydraulic?
pintlers.
Yeah.
What kind of what?
Elevator.
it's very nice.
Is it hydraulic?
Cable one?
Cable.
Cable, okay, I was just asking those technical aspects of it. You know, what kind of a mechanism it was.
They have it in Hall at the shop, but they're waiting, they gotta get like three different I don't know if I'm saying this right, three different guys. They're come from places.
Different specialties, you know.
So will it be like spring or before we get it in?
It just depends on when I can get the guys, he told me. He's pushing on them, he wants to get going so they can start finishing up a bunch of the stuff, it's just waiting for it now.
Or?
It's gonna be pretty nice.
Yeah, well, and it's just in time, they're probably gonna be fairly soon, if I'm gonna need an elevator rather than like the steps, you never can tell.
So it even goes up to the third floor. And then they put, there was a bathroom in there from probably 1912. And they did a new bathroom in there for the jury thing, so, yeah. Come take some elevator rides.
If I see him walk in, I need to go he'll show you the stuff.
No, that's all right, I was just curious, I had asked Blanche. I was not aware of the project, so I'm pretty good about it.
Yeah, we worked on it for how many years,
Yeah.
kept saving money, and it's funny, my mom, I said, you gotta get a damn elevator in there. Especially with going up to
Well,
the
I-
jury room.
Yeah, we were always able to, say we were saving for one, so, because we're supposed to have one in here. And so, since I started as deputy clerk,
Yeah.
we were saving for our elevator. So, what is it, like $6 million, or what was it, how much was it?
1.4.
Whoops.
But there's some other, stuff, cause they fixed other bathrooms and then that AD,
88.
yeah. They've changed a lot upstairs, fixed the women's bathroom, which was it's gonna be pretty nice.
Well, and for somebody, let's say, who is in a walker or a wheelchair or something like that wants to go up to the courtroom and that area, it's pretty much impossible right now isn't it? Unless somebody helps them
Yeah,
up and down. Of course, for centuries, and that's the way buildings have been.
Yeah. I think they're-
Elevators have just come within, frankly, our generation, of most buildings of any several stories having elevators in them.
I know there's quite a few, and then just to meet, like handicap, a lot of times they'll come downstairs, and we got that handicap door down there.
Oh, do you? Okay.
And then they'll do a court thing down there just because they can't make it up there.
Yeah, the
so.
hearing down in the JP courtroom.
Still got a few minutes before we get into 10 o'clock.
We have a local contractor, a Montana contractor that's installing.
He lives right down the street or his office or shop's right down the street, the old Foley place.
Oh, Cleveland, Cleveland. Okay,
It's what is it called? TC something, I think.
yeah, okay, but that's the Clevelands.
Nice guy.
Yeah, they're nice people.
Does a good job. I think they've done really good job. There's a lot of stuff when they start breaking the wall apart, and when you get in there, it was pretty interesting how some of that was built. And the wood was all still pretty good.
I'll bet there's some fantastic wood that was in there. I hope they salvaged what they could.
Yeah, there's some big old beams and stuff that, you know, it was rough cut, somebody cut it from around.
Probably pretty straight grain too.
Yeah, it was pretty cool looking, I thought.
Yeah, you probably could have sold that salvaged, wood to pay for the elevator.
Did you wanna buy it?
No, I didn't want to buy it. But there are people that really
Oh,
are
yeah.
looking for that kind of.
They used a bunch of the stuff like where they put in different windows and that, they used what they had, so. And like up in the jurors room, they changed stuff around it. Pretty nice, especially with that bathroom up there now, instead of coming down them. It was and the door always swung the wrong way, so if somebody's coming up, you hit it.
Yeah,
And the judge, he got a new bathroom.
does he?
Yeah.
He's the new judge. There'll be a new hearing, he had the hearings obviously already, the new, and this is, remind me of who, the new.
The Hood.
It's the Hood, you know. I, of course, had a lot of matters against his dad. And very interesting, colorful guy, you know, Wade was, and his son, I actually had some matters where he was involved, and I thought he did a very good job, and he was very easy to get along with. His dad wasn't necessarily always that way. But I had a good relationship with Wade, but it was only after a lot of times that we butted heads but he could be as nice a guy as you'd want, or he could be just the opposite, depending on whether he was getting his way.
It was funny, they had a special order, a gown, whatever you call it, for him, because he's such a big guy.
Oh, yeah, what's his first name?
I just don't.
Jeff?
Yeah, I think it is Jeff, yeah. No, I had a couple of matters, and I just thought he was very reasonable and approachable, and he could get along with, they were smaller matters, but that was my experience with Jeff.
Alrighty, well, we'll go into, Blaine said he'd be right down. He's on the phone, Grassy versus Graham County update. We have it here behind the paper there.
That's my prediction.
Sounds like.
Sure about to have a county attorney.
Sure, a lot of stuff out there.
It just came from the treasurer's office. Did it? I think it all just came from the treasurer's office.
That worked.
What are they gonna do with it?
Don't wanna get into this again. Did you look at this stuff? They're starting to film out better. I told Paul just a little more on a couple of things here where
Is that his signature? Paul's?
Paul said, he seen them on. So do I take these back in there?
No, they're going out the book. The road thing. I need to come up and I'll sort those out where employee by employee instead of group.
Oh, I
Then
see.
you can, this is the activity sheet that actually is you need to go to when you're looking for a particular time and activity that they did, and they need to be able to, the road, sometimes you can't even understand, right, so little bit.
Well, some of them, they still, you know, they just say, even on the first thing to say, I'm saying this,
Yeah,
you know, I guess I don't know how you put, you know, they don't have to put each road in.
we've gotta get that book going, the road book going, we've gotta get the road book, we've gotta get the roads in there, we've gotta get from their activity sheets into the road book, and it's gonna take some time. And so this is gonna be the main thing that we're taking our information from, is what road they worked on, when they worked on it, and what they did.
That's what we need, cause then
Yeah.
then we have, consider, so no one attend the check culvert on the Ross's board, took the mower to. Over to like that, I like the way.
He's, yeah,
Yeah, he's good, that's the way it should be.
okay, they all should be that way. Plow.
Yeah, I mean, even if they said
Echo,
Echo Lake,
Black Pine.
here they come.
They have main roads that they do, so they probably don't feel that that could attend. But if someone's trying to get the information off here,
Even if they said the drummer bust out, just the blitz,
Yeah.
just so we can go,
no,
no,
no visit, yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
That's- It's not like we're asking them a whole bunch if they could do,
yeah.
you know, it's just gonna
It's-
cover all of us. You're up.
I'm up, all right.
Is this a closed session or is this a?
I'll update you, and then if you wanna close it for litigation strategy, you can, but. So, as you recall, James Grassi, Terry Donlin, and Robert Koch have brought litigation against the county over wanting to put a gate up on a public road. And so, we're just at the, basically, I mean, it's been filed a while ago, but the county's filed some, motions. One, they asked for an injunction for me prosecuting people on that if they put up a gate. We had responded to that, opposing that request for an injunction. That went to a hearing. We're still waiting for that ruling on that issue. The county also asked for a more definite statement on their complaint, which we felt was vague. So then here now, in January, they filed a request for an injunction to have the county commission basically stop realtors from claiming that's a public road. And so our response back was realtors of Granite County or realtors aren't even part of the litigation. We don't have county commission doesn't have authority over realtors, we're telling realtors what to do. So that's where we're at right now. Greg Overstreet was assisting me with some of the case. He's in the legislature now representing Stevensville. So we asked for the case to be stayed for till the legislature's meeting.
Yeah, I talked to one of the other owners there and it's kind of a mess.
A lot of the property owners up there in the subdivision in Marshall Ridge sent letters saying that they don't want a gate up on Wapiti. It's a public safety issue.
And that's the whole thing, if something happened down there, at least they could still get out the other
Yeah.
way, but the gates there.
Getting
Yeah.
fire trucks and fire truck will probably go over the gate, but it's still.
Just though if it's locked and they try to get out in a matter of time and you know, there you are.
It's, you know, it's not a county road, but,
Forest
County
Service
does
in
have-
on that one part of it,
well,
I think that's out for.
yeah, Wapiti is just me a public road, yeah. It's the main ingress and egress to the subdivision there, Marshall Ridge. County, I mean, has standing in it because there's safety issues, your public safety issues. So that's where we're at. How the county has any control over realtors, I do not know, and there is no
So you-
statutory authority.
Take that guy with you. Sorry, Mike.
He's on Zoom.
Oh, well, it's all right, I'll sit here.
Yeah,
Did you guys discuss the whole thing already?
What's that?
so you have any questions on Grassy, or you can ask if the public has, or-
Any public comment on this?
we'll
I
get,
guess we'll just move on.
yeah, move forward on getting the case.
All right, well, we're 2 minutes early, but we'll go ahead and go into the flashing lights on Highway 1 in Hall. I put this on the agenda because I met with some, the people down there, they're the ladies that do put up all the,
Decoration.
yeah. And they wanted me to put it on, and I've mentioned it around, and Chuck come up to give his comment on it too. Well, go ahead, Chuck.
Okay. Well, that's the Hall Improvement or the Hall Beautification Group. It's a group of women from this county that actually have done a terrific amount of work improving, especially right around the intersection. They're there planting flowers and just trying to improve Hall. I don't know if you know the elevator that now has Hall, Montana on it. That was done primarily through their efforts, and they're just a good group of ladies that are doing a lot of good work.
They do a good job.
You know, is there any kind of, I've not read any kind of a written presentation that they made or request that they made, but I'm today going to hand a petition for changes in the speed limit signs in Hall. I'm gonna hand this to Miranda after I'm through speaking, because I've had this prepared for some time now. I took a measuring wheel, and I've measured a lot of the distances from the speed limit signs, both entering Hall from the north and the south. I'm sure that Scott can attest to this, but it is absolutely ridiculous, the location of the speed limit signs they have in there. On both ends of Hall, the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit signs are over 200 feet inside the first residences that you enter. In fact, the one on the north end, this 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign, is almost right across from the Methodist Church. And there's the Loma residence that's to the north of that, and there's another residence right there. It is, when they improved that highway, I don't know why the Department of Highways did not put those speed limit signs further out. You know, Hall is the only town through which Highway 1 goes through in Granite County. Now, of course, when you get over into Deer Lodge County, it goes through Anaconda, but Hall is the only town that through which Highway 1 goes through. And I probably should have identified myself for the record, but Shelley and I, my wife, live at 114 South Broadway Avenue in Hall, Montana. You know, of course, when you have a Broadway Avenue and a main street, well, you've got a pretty urban area right there. It's, you know, and I'm saying that a little bit tongue in cheek. It's a small town, but unfortunately, I think drivers treat it as a nuisance rather than as a place where there's a lot of population right along there. And also the county has its shops and its gravel piles on either side of the road and they're going back and forth all the time. I'm fully in support of putting, I think was the radar assisted, solar powered, warning lights on each end of town whenever the state has put the portable one on the trailer on either end of town. Mostly they put it on the north end of town. I think they're highly effective. Of course, that's one that I think the flashing lights really stand out, and I think they are somewhat effective, but there needs to be a change in the location of the speed limit signs on both ends of Hall. There's one thing that they didn't take into consideration was the historical sign. The historical sign on the south end of Hall out there. I don't think people, except for maybe Scott and other people, understand how much activity there is around that historical sign. The snow plows will turn around there. School buses turn around there. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but the safe turnaround point for the Phillipsburg school bus is on the county. It's right across from our house at 114 South Broadway, and that's where the school bus actually turns around, because that's been designated as the safe turnaround point for the Phillipsburg school bus. And there can be an awful lot of activity right there entering Hall from the south. Now, on the north side, of course, we have a new fire hall there that has a three bays, and I'm assuming at least 3 engines in there. Right now, in accordance with the highway speed limit sign, you can be going 70 miles per hour past that fire station, and that's not right. I think the speed limit signs need to be brought out further to the north, so people are at least instructed to go 40 miles per hour past there rather than 70 miles per hour. And then I think the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign, if you're entering town from the north, needs to be further out from where it is right now. And on the south end of Hall, I think the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign needs to be about halfway between the last home there and the historical mark. So I'm all in favor of what your ladies have asked for, and that's the radar activated solar powered lights. This petition that I'm going to be filing is not easy reading, because it has a lot of measurements in it, but if you guys run out of things to read, well, I'd appreciate it if you'd read it, because hopefully I've tried to put a lot of useful information in there. So I don't know if I hand it to you, Chairman, and probably you'll schedule a hearing on that.
Yep, we'll put it
At
on.
some particular point.
Well, I think right now is, for discussion decision, we're gonna try to get a letter to the state and see if we can get that. So we need to probably send this with it and see if they get them blinking lights, that they put them out where it'd be a little better.
Well,
You're the one that.
Chuck's got a lot of great ideas. I'm in total agreement with what he's asking for. Those radar speed limit signs that show your speed are very effective. Deputies have recently written, people going between 60 and 70 miles an hour in that 30 zone. There's a crosswalk there. I don't know if Chuck didn't mention that. There's a school probably about 100 yards off of the highway there.
Yeah.
I mean, Helmville has them. I think the state's priorities, no offense to our partners in the state, are a little bit confused, because Hall's like New York City compared to Helmville.
Correct.
You know, it shouldn't be that hard to get those signs there. We have had fatalities in Hall on that corner, and I hate to see somebody get hurt, and he's absolutely right about the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's too condensed
Well, that's
in town.
yesterday, him and I were talking on the phone, and last week I got passed coming right in the hall.
Yeah,
I mean, they were
yeah.
something.
you can't believe, and it's not all drivers. It's just like any
Right.
cross section of drivers. It's absolutely amazing how fast people will be driving going past our home, which is on the south end of Hall. And when I have to turn there to come into my house, there are some people who pass me on the left, even though I've got my left turn indicator on to come in there, and they'll pass me on the right. They'll go around there, because Some drivers just look at Hall, unfortunately, as kind of being a nuisance. It's slowing down their progress and I think for safety purposes, these lights would be good. I would make a suggestion that maybe we couple my petition with the ladies,
That's what I-
because you're going to find that my request in there does include actually a request for radar activated, solar powered flashing lights.
I was just gonna say, yeah, the commission now can approve a letter to go to the Montana DOT I think it's two separate issues. One, speed study to move the signs, because I think a speed study. And two, the radar, that'd be Department of Transportation as well. And so they today can send the letter attached to your petition, send it to Department of Transportation.
Well, I think you gotta kind of do it all together, because
Yeah.
we wanna move them on, this is the time to do it.
You know, and I'm going to recommend that I don't think this is a situation that's going to require a speed study. You've got, I'm not asking that the 30-mile-an-hour be changed to 25-mile-an-hour. I'm asking that, but I think the placement of those signs
Okay.
is not correct. So I don't think they shouldn't have to require a speed study. It's just absolutely a placement of the sign issue is what it is,
So-
rather than.
So, but the issue is, once you have that sign that says 30, you have to be going 30 at that sign is what it is. So it's either put a sign back further saying reduce speed ahead,
Yes.
but if you actually move the 30-mile-an-hour sign, that requires a speed study.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, if that requires a speed study, I guess as the petitioner in this thing, I would ask that the county commissioners really request from the Department of Highways that they proceed immediately with that speed study. I don't know why it would require a speed study, because I think it's just an absolute placement of sign, location of sign issue. It's the people should be going 30 miles an hour when they're going all the way through town. I actually think it had almost been a mistake where the signs were put. I mean, these buildings on both ends of town predated probably even the highway going through there, so it's not a mystery why it's a unsafe placement of signs is really what it is.
Well,
It's, I would declare, I would say it's probably an emergency situation.
so, yeah, I don't disagree with you that there needs to be a change there, but I think, moving the signs is moving the speed zone basically. So that's where whether we say it or not, they're gonna say they require a speed study.
I can't imagine why there wasn't a speed study suggested on the fatality, that one I can think of anyway that we've had in Hall on that corner. Cause when you do a crash investigation, they probably just blow it off. There's a box you can check
Yeah.
in that investigation that recommended the state that they do a speed study.
Well, how many accidents have been there in the last 5 years? There've been
Quite a bit.
substantial, yeah,
The same year as that fatality, there was another
yeah.
off-road incident that occurred there. And I don't know if it was a
Yeah.
fatality. I'm sure it was an injury,
It was an injury
Yeah.
crash.
and it was an injury
Yeah.
crash in that corner.
Sorry, Chuck, I just think it's important the state know that in this. I don't know if you indicated that.
Those were,
We can put that in our letter, Scott.
those were all alcohol being a factor, but speed was a factor as well.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, so definitely speed is part of that.
You know, another thing that is dangerous right in Hall is that, you know, where Al Platt had his building right there, that corner that comes around there is that there's really limited visibility. So people coming, especially from the west on the Farm to Market Road, and some of those may have recently been to may have been to the Stockman's Bar or whatever. It's very difficult to approach the intersection going onto Highway 1 and look to the left, and then you look to the right, and if you're going to be pulling out, cars going really even 30 miles per hour come around that corner fast, and there's no real good line of sight there. And vehicles tend to be parked there right now, right on that corner, coming away from Taj, what Taj owns, which used to be Hollister's in my day. But that's pretty close to the highway, and there oftentimes your vehicles parked right there.
Go ahead, Mike.
They're parked on their property, Chuck, or on right away?
You know, I kind of think they're parked on right away.
I do.
The ones I've seen, that I've seen appear to be parked on the property, but.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where the right of way
It's not a good
begins and
intersection.
ends right there. Is it pretty narrow?
Well, it goes, I think it's 90 foot.
Oh,
So break it in
It's
the middle.
then if it's 90 foot,
I
why
thought
buildings
that's what
are
the
on
state
the right of
was,
way?
I thought the state was 90 foot.
It probably depends, but we could look and see when that is there. But the letter to the commission, to the Department of Transportation could say, yeah, we feel this is an emergency situation, please expedite it.
Well, I appreciate that.
Any other public comment?
Do we need to make a motion?
I would encourage you to,
Yeah.
to send the letter and attach the petition. One on the, speed zone change, need a speed study and say it's an emergency, and then
Move the signs.
also, yeah, talking about on the north side and south side radar speed signs. The
That-
flashing lights.
Is that your motion?
I don't wanna tell you what to do, but
No, that's,
my advice is.
Okay, so I make a motion, well, we wanna submit this with the letter. Requesting their advice, are they gonna come back and say, okay, you need a speed study, or would they come back and say, probably, maybe we can move the signs?
The county's letter needs to ask for the speed study to move the speed zone. So that allows the signs to be expanded in the 30-mile-an-hour zone. And then the second issue is the rate.
So would the letter be, do we need to ask for a study, or can we get the speed study?
No, we have to,
moved?
it's requesting it, but I don't know that they've ever turned the county down from, when you've requested before.
well, I'm kinda like, you know what you're saying, I know they're gonna ask for a study, but I'm kinda like with Chuck,
Yeah.
where we're just moving the signs back, why do they have to study another 200 feet? Or whatever, you know.
They're gonna
try to
tell,
work it
I
out.
understand you're asking why, but they're gonna require it.
Okay, so that's on the study, what about the flashing lights? We don't need, do we as a county put the flashing lights out
No,
there?
that's need to be, it's Department of Transportation.
It has to be
State, yeah.
Department of
So it's
Transportation.
requesting them to do
So
that.
we have to request lights too.
You're talking about a radar sign with
Yeah.
flashing lights?
Yeah. Just like the ones like Scott was talking about, they got them all over now,
You
they're,
know,
Sealy has them.
The flashing
I'd like to
lights,
see the radar, and maybe Chuck can attest this a little more than I can, but just outside of where the houses are is where I'd like to see the radar signs themselves, or so people are getting to that 30-mile-an-hour speed limit through there, because I think that'd be the best use
Yeah.
of the radar signs.
by flashing, you mean where they say slow, if you're going faster, it says slow down,
Those are
flash.
speed and they flash and.
When you're going, oh,
They're
okay.
saying you're going too fast on them, they're, hell, Billy, you come flying down there, you're doing
Yeah.
70, all of a sudden, there they are, right there.
And you can ask for those now, and then if they expand the 30, then they can move those radar signs.
Okay, so we want the letter to start out with, it's an emergency situation, needs to be addressed. The signs moved.
Yeah.
And the flashing lights or radar things, can we ask for those without having to get a speed study, or would we
Yeah.
have to get a speed
Could be in the
study?
same letter, but yeah, they can get those without a speed study. So
Okay,
that needs to be done ASAP. Can you print how many accidents have been right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. and we can-
I'll send it, I'll email it to around.
And then, yeah, and then maybe a letter even from you or something saying that, you know, that,
yeah,
Yeah,
that help, I mean,
I
what,
would.
so yeah, utmost emergency situation.
Yeah.
We wanna treat it
sooner the better, so we can get
as
this.
immediate.
Yeah. So they get on the, speed study ASAP and putting up the sign ASAP.
Yeah, when, you know, and I'm not picking on the skiers, but when Discovery empties out, and Chuck's right, a majority of the drivers do a good job slowing down, but it's almost like the Daytona 500 out there, right? It's
Yeah.
Especially when they,
Highway 1.
Yeah.
Well, especially
Yeah,
when
you
they're
got-
coming across that road with a loader and stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
Chuck's not
it's-
exaggerating.
Well,
No, he's not.
Yeah, this is Chuck Johnson again. I can tell you that when you're traveling from north to south and when a lot of drivers come around the corner and they see a 40-mile-an-hour sign, so it's 30 that they should be traveling at that point. When they see the 40-mile-an-hour sign, I can tell you, because by sound and sight, a lot of them put their foot right to the floor on that, because it's a straight stretch, and it actually is almost like a drag race. There have been people that actually been going through there, and the person behind didn't think that the person ahead of them was going fast enough right at the 40-mile-an-hour sign. They're passing them right there, right inside town, because it's a straightaway.
Yeah.
They see that there's no traffic coming. I'll tell you what, some of them, they just really put their foot in it, and some of them, it isn't all tourists, it isn't all, there are a lot of contractors right now that are always running probably 15, 20 minutes behind, and they just look at Hall as being a nuisance, you know, just a bump in their road right then. But it really, I'm surprised there haven't been more accidents right there, except it's such a straight stretch. I think it's a pretty good line of sight to go there. People that could just be flying by going south. And they keep accelerating all the way over to the historical side. They're going at least 70 by the time they go past the historical side oftentimes.
Jackie just texted me and she said there are some DOT grants out like for speed signs too, so if they come down and say they don't have the money, there's some grants out there to get it.
Okay, well, ask Jackie to apply for that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie. Jack.
Well, that's probably for counties to get for county roads, but but there's monies out there, but.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I would even recommend like Jackie and the county commissioners, I think you could just make strong recommendations. I mean, the Department of Transportation has to pay attention to what their law enforcement officers, the sheriff's office, and the highway patrol agrees with me on this. I've talked to Jack numerous times about my petition, and they absolutely agree that something needs to be done as soon as possible in Hall. So anyway.
Alrighty, well, we will get this letter right out, Chuck, and we'll get moving on it.
I made the motion, was there a second?
I'll second it.
Public comment? Elena? We better stay, Chuck, because we probably got.
Thank you for the record. I've got two comments. Elena Gagliano. One, I noticed the chat is disabled, yet there was public comment regarding this agenda item. Two, there was a study done, Black Pine and Highway 1, where we just wanted the sign 55-mile limit extended to cover Black Pine entrance, and that was denied. So I just wanted that as point of clarification, that the Department of Transportation does do a speed study, and they can say no. And that's just for the record. Thank you.
So that was to drop the speed limit down. This here, we're not changing the speed limit, we're moving the signs.
The sign is 55 just before the town of Phillipsburg, and that's what we wanted it to extend to cover the entrance where Black Pine is. We just wanted it moved, and they said no. Thank you.
What she's saying is similar, because she's saying extend that speed, the 55 back. He's saying it's really what Chuck Johnson's saying is extend the 30 back. But the distinction I see here is they looked and there was not any accidents. So they saw there was one, but they didn't think it was sufficient accidents. But here in Hall, there has been significant accidents.
There's been
there.
accidents. That's interesting. We're just waiting for one over here.
I-
I'm sorry, this was public comment and I'm stating my comment because I happen to live up here, and that's a dangerous place, especially with semis coming more than 65, 70, and other trucks coming 80 miles per hour. We're just waiting for an accident over here.
I agree
Thank you.
with you. Yeah, it's just that was Department of Transportation, not the county.
Thank you.
I'm not-
Is Elena still there? Elena? Did she sign off? I was going to just ask if she'd be willing to be a crossing guard at Hall. Highway 1 there. If she would, yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. I am here, Elena, and I'm sorry, sir, I didn't get your name, but I'll be more than happy to work with you on this.
Okay, Elena, this is Chuck Johnson. How are you doing today?
Oh, Chuck, I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Good, I just wanted to know if you'd be willing to be a crossing guard at that crossing that goes across Highway 1 in the middle of Fall. You could be part of the.
If I could do it up on Black Pine, I will, because I use Black Pine. And believe me, if there's oncoming traffic, we can have both places. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was disabled? I missed that. There was something
I
disabled?
think she bought it.
Oh.
All right, all in
Thanks.
favor?
Thank all of you
Thank
guys. I
All in
appreciate it.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion been carried and passed. Thank you. All right, well, we're running a little behind. Northwestern Energy Customer Agreement, Riddick Field and Granite County review and sign. I see,
Donovan on?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll make this quick, guys. That was a great conversation. That is an important issue. It does feel tight there. So Northwestern Energy went back and reviewed this. They were able to cut the cost in half. And we do have the majority of this in the Beacon budget for the grant that we got from the state. So it's generally all paid for already. So it's just a matter of signing at the bottom on the right there. I can get this back to Northwestern and we can get on the schedule to get the work done.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Entertain
Thank
a motion.
Northwestern Energy. They dug into it and found a way.
Entertain a motion to sign this customer agreement with Northwestern.
I'll motion to sign the agreement.
I'll second it.
Public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, you too. Oh, Donovan, does this need to go back to you, or should we send this directly to Northwestern Energy, or?
He's off.
I think it's gone.
All right, that's too late.
I know.
Let's see.
So we'll go into the Great West Task Order number 11 and number 12,
Yeah.
discussion decision.
It's the commission's phone number.
7023.
Commissioners, this is Jeremiah Thays online.
Morning.
Morning,
So,
gentlemen.
good morning. How are you?
Good, you?
Good. So we have two task orders. Task order 11 is for the 2024 DSSMR report that is required to be submitted to FERC by April 1st of every year. So that's the dam safety surveillance monitoring report that we typically do. And then in addition to that, we will do the dam safety surveillance monitoring plan that is required to be updated. We will update the owner's dam safety program plan as well. And then the operation and maintenance documents. So these were items that were identified in either the Part 12D or the ODSP audit that was completed. And so we had assisted the county in putting together a plan and schedule for addressing all of these items. And so we're planning on just tackling all of those and getting them submitted to FERC by April 1st.
Okay.
And
Do
then task order, any questions on that one?
No, I jumped ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Task order 12. So this is the curb repair on the Clark Fork River Bridge. I had come over and we had taken a look at that. And then I came over right before Christmas to meet with the commissioners. And this is our work in assisting with that. So it includes going out and measuring up the damaged area, putting together a mini solicitation package or a solicitation package for contractor bidding of that. We assume the cost will be well under 80,000. So we anticipate not doing full public bid, but just soliciting quotes from 3 contractors. Great West will assist in bidding, the notice of award, contract documents, things like that. And then we'll also assist with construction oversight. So we'll do a pre-construction meeting with the contractor. We'll go over, we're anticipating just 2 trips over, one's for the concrete pour, one's for inspection of the reinforcing, and then project closeout as well. So that's kind of what's included in task order 12.
Sounds good.
Any questions on that one?
Go to the insurance company.
Yeah, file the claim. Though this may cap out their coverage. One of the things too is, I think this, not over 80,000, and there's contractors that just work on this type, deal, and so you want those that are experts in it, right? Right, Jeremiah?
Yeah, yep, we would target qualified contractors that are experienced in this area. And we don't have to limit it to just 3, but I mean we do have to solicit a minimum of 3 contractors. So we would target those qualified contractors that can do this type of work.
Are you thinking trying to get it here this spring then? Or, cause I don't know how cement would be very good in the winter.
Yeah, we would get rolling on things so that way it's ready to go once weather breaks and it's conducive to pouring concrete and doing. I'm assuming they'll do water jet concrete blasting to remove that reinforcing. So the weather is going to need to be warm enough that they can actually do that work.
But okay, well, I'd entertain a motion on task orders number 11 and number 12.
Do we need to do them separate or can they both?
It could be in the same motion. It could be in the same motion.
Okay, so I make a motion that we accept task order number 11 and task order number 12 from Great West Engineering.
I'll second it.
Public comment? Means none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion been carried and passed. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Yep, thanks. Take care, everyone.
Have a good day.
See ya.
Have a good.
You too.
You too.
All righty. Oh, or, yeah, everybody said I didn't make. Trying to get caught up here. No, got caught up. The next one is Kelly Cotton, Director for Student Services and Regional Outreach for Tim Shee.
Hi.
Come on up. How are
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me today. Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Paul Kolaski's on Zoom.
Okay. Hello,
Hello.
sir. Thank you so much for having me today. I just wanted to come by and introduce myself. I am the Constituent Services Director for Senator Sheehy, but also will be the Southwest Montana Outreach Liaison for this area. So wanted to introduce myself. I don't have cards yet. Setup has been a little bit of a task, to be honest. So, but I hope those will be coming soon. Again, just wanted to introduce myself, hear what, where we can best support you, and then share my contact information. And that's pretty
I
much-
guess one thing is just where you're being new and I, like the dam, the hydro plant now, that's a big deal. And then the Forest Service trying to work with them more, get more out of them.
Yeah, they're not getting much funding for Forest Service roads, and we got ones up at the lake, and that's a hot topic up right now.
Okay.
Blanche, you have any?
Did you want to bring up the infrastructure bill with her?
Yeah.
So that infrastructure bill had money for dams, but then it went to Flint Creek Hydro, who's doing that we contract with to do the producing the hydroelectric. But none of that money went to actually for the dam structure itself, which is the county has the maintenance on that. And
Okay,
so
It's
Uh,
breaking us. It's
Okay.
Totally breaking us.
I think there's still monies in that infrastructure bill that need to trickle down for dams, and so we wanted to inquire about that, if there's
Okay.
gonna be some more for improvements.
Oh, you have any questions or?
I think we kind of covered it with the, I mean, well, weren't we talking about the infrastructure bill for some bridges at one point too?
Yeah, we were, and then I guess that was,
So it sounds like there are grants and we were gonna potentially team up with Missoula County and some other counties to go after some of those
Oh,
grants.
that's right.
and remember that guy, he was gonna get hold of me. I said I'd be on that, but I've never ever heard from
We
him.
might need to reach back with, that's,
He used to work for Department of Transportation in
Yeah.
Missoula County.
the head of their roads in
Yeah.
Missoula County.
Steve Felix. Felix, I think.
Okay.
Wasn't that it? Felix?
Or, I'll look it up.
Yeah, Felix was the maintenance boss out of the Missoula district there for a while.
Yeah, he went to work for the county and we wanted to know if I'd be on that board with him. I've never heard a thing from him. That was a couple months ago.
okay.
Other than that, it's just pretty much kind of slow right now, a lot of snow.
A lot of snow. It's quite a drive out here.
You come from Butte?
I did, yes, yes.
How much you got over there?
Oh, not quite as much here, but it was still coming down when I left, so, yeah, the last couple of weeks, we've had a nice pile of snow down the middle of every street.
Yeah.
So,
How's Mr. G doing?
he is doing good. I actually saw him yesterday. He addressed the, joint session of the Montana legislature. So I got to see him, listen to that and visit with him for just a few minutes, so.
Cool.
Yeah, doing good. We're just trying to get all the offices situated and organized. We have an office open here in Butte, Billings, Bozeman, Helena, Great Falls, and Kalispell. We will be opening one in Missoula, but we have folks on the ground there. We could not take over the location that Senator Tester was in. So we had to, we're looking for another space and the Senate is working with us on that, so. But we do have folks on the ground.
Now, don't forget about us small counties.
Absolutely not.
Not trying to be identical, but I'm just
Yes.
saying that we really need help and supporting us and like trying to deal with the feds and that. It's just out of hand. It's
Absolutely,
getting worse.
absolutely. So,
It seems like the smaller counties kind of get shoved back. It's pretty tough for counties to survive.
right, absolutely.
Tell him sometime he comes over, swing in.
Certainly.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
That
I'd
would
love
be,
to have it.
that would be on my list for sure.
We had Baines once and
Yeah. It's Shane Stack is the Missoula. First I just sent that photo.
okay.
So we're gonna try to team up with some other counties to go for grants.
Other than that, anything else?
That's all I have. Again, just wanted to introduce myself and sure, if you don't mind, I'll just listen to the rest of your meeting.
Cool. If you have any, just raise your hand and or throw something at me. I'll see it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Public comment, yeah.
Public comment? Who did I miss? Oh, I didn't.
I just
Oh, okay.
figured a better ask.
Oh. I didn't look up those. So this, next one, it's a total, money total of 14,000. US.
So this starts. Okay. Our share is the 10,000. And their share is the 4,000, correct?
That's the way I understand it. I
Yeah,
always thought it was-
10,255. We are party of the second part, they are party of the first part.
I always thought that we were darn near 50-50 with them, not 70-30. Why I always thought.
Howdy doody. I'll stay back here.
Go ahead and jump into this United States Department of Interior, the US Geological Survey. And this is our contribute to into the reading the water. Did you get to look at this, Paul? No.
Sorry. Yeah, I haven't looked at the updated one of this one, no. Is this still the same? This is the one we looked at the other day though, wasn't it?
Yeah, we just wanna know what, when it was and how much for sure.
Right.
Ours is 10,255. I always thought we were like 50-50, but.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah, because it was like what, 10,000 for us and 4,000 for them is what it's at.
like
Looking at the history on it, I'm thinking that it wasn't 50-50. I'm thinking that our share was more. When we looked up the history on it. So it's up a little bit.
And I guess, did we figure out, is this our year, is it a yearly deal or is it every 6 months? That was kind of a question, wasn't it, last week or the week before?
April 1st through October 31st, 2025 and 2025. When read it.
Six months.
So I'd entertain a motion.
No. Oh. I'll motion to accept the document there.
Second it.
Public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Where would this money come out of then? Is that
We've been taking it out of Flint Creek project.
See, that's another thing. It's just always ongoing. We don't have the money to do it. It's just. And I was talking to Kelly Cotton, right? Oh. Seems like every month there's something else on the dam that we gotta pay for, and Hydro gets 90% of the money.
Okay.
But wait, till they coming in, or is this a?
I don't know, till they come from you. Is it just you? Probably. They were coming in from you, but. Oh, they're gonna wait.
She did.
I just got here in the
Oh,
room.
okay.
I left at 9, so it took me a solid hour and a half.
Yeah.
We better wait then till.
Did you come through Anaconda over the
I
pass?
did,
That's probably the safest route.
yes. It looked the best.
Yeah.
How you feel?
I was out last week, but I'll stay way back here.
Miranda and I, we've had this for
Yeah.
like 3 weeks and we're just like, ugh.
It was, it's awful.
That's
You
terrible.
coughed and you put sanitizer. Can't be too
They're
safe.
rubbing over my face. Oh, it's terrible.
It was a
Still-
bad
I
one.
still don't, you know.
Yeah. And just about 4 days after I got it, my kid got it. My husband got it yesterday. It's working its way through.
I can't believe how easy it is to catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids, it's
Mhm.
terrible. There's a lot of sick people.
Is it what, flu? No, it's some kind of lung thing.
I went in, they told me I had walking pneumonia. And they gave me all that medicine when her and I had it.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. Your head feels like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I even drank a bunch of hot whiskey, think it cured. Yeah, try something. Miranda told me to do it.
Yeah. Tutties.
Blaine told me the sheriff took that little metal desk out here, or metal little deal on.
Roller cart library.
The sheriff took her, so. Do you need any of that stuff for your desk? No.
My office is full.
Boy, if it gets that warm, we're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna have flooding.
Big time.
I was gonna mention to Paul, we might wanna make sure that we got water on road signs, cause it's gonna get bad. Paul will get some water on road signs ready.
What?
Then see if we have any of them signs, and if it starts flooding for water on the roads. Yeah, I guess we can go ahead.
Yeah, probably.
This is on, Twin Willow subdivision preliminary plat.
So I apologize for not getting your findings updated from the planning board, but I wasn't here. I was out sick, but. So. This is a 5-lot subdivision. It's up on Granite. It's like maybe half a mile up the road. I don't know if you guys know where that little interpretive sign for the tram is, but it's right on that property. So, they already they're proposing 2 lots on, it's steep, the property is steep. They have 2 lots on the west side or the east side, and 3 lots on the west side. They have 1 driveway already up into one of the west side lots, and then they've got the driveway that goes to 2 of the lots on the other side of the road that's going down. But they will need to get a couple of, they're gonna need to get some, county encroachment permits from the commissioners, so you will be seeing them to do that.
What's the road like there? Is it gonna be off and go up, or is it gonna be a straight shot, or?
Yeah, there's a house, so there's a house, it's on the ones that are on the east side, they're up. So, yeah, there's a climb there, there's a house that's already built up on that bench. And this will be two more up on that bench and yeah, they're driveways, some driveways. And then there's the two that come off of the end, one of those is already in as well, one of those driveways for the two lots is already in.
Think they're
And
gonna be okay?
their driveways are steep, there's no getting around it, they have no way to get driveways in that aren't steep. But, that's a risk that they're willing to take at this point, but let me get to so there's really nothing on this subdivision other than those roads and the fact that it's the county road. So if you go back to page 8, you'll see the conditions there.
We just don't want them thinking that we're gonna plow it.
Oh, yeah. We've got a lot of stuff in here.
Straighten that out right now.
So on the utilities, this is on page 9 actually, and it's number 9. We added at the planning board level, we added a statement in there that says all utilities in the county right of way of Granite Road have to be underground. And then they have to be underground where train allows. But so everything that they're gonna end up having to put power in that's actually in the county road right of way has to go underground. It can't be on a pole in the middle of Granite Road. They're gonna have to dig it down. I mean,
Will they have trouble getting back that Blackfoot stuff in, or how are they gonna work?
Okay, so
Isn't Blackfoot laying things like?
I don't know if I didn't know if Blackfoot was up Granite, if they were going up Granite.
I thought they said they were.
Did they say they were? But yeah, these developers are actually gonna have to come approach the county anyway. Cause they will need to be putting some additional culverting under Granite to drain, cause there's standing water there, they need to get that drainage fixed.
Okay.
So they will have to do that road work on Granite, they're required to as part of the subdivision. And they'll need to come get an encroachment permit from you so that you see their plan as to how they're gonna do it before they go ahead and culvert everything and dig up Granite.
And there's a limit on the culverts, isn't there, 24-inch? I think the guy who's up there, he better have either 24 or 30.
Yeah, you guys can dictate what size of a culvert goes in
I
that
just don't
road right
want
there.
throwing a little pipe in.
Yeah, no, you will get to say, we want this size of culvert.
Okay.
So, and that was one of the changes though on utilities. If you go to page 10, and I had Blaine look at all of this, on the roads especially. But if you look at the road, so we used the same covenant statement that we used on that FTK that, for the purposes of emergency services, just saying, hey, when weather events like this come up, we can't get to you, and that's just part of living up there. So we do have that in, but then 17 starts the discussion of what we're asking for roads. And the statement for 17 that we're asking to go into the covenants will say Granite County is a county road with limited, at the planning board added access and maintenance there. So they added the word access into that statement. So it'll say Granite Road is a county road with access and maintenance. The road right of way for Granite Road is 60 feet wide, both sides from center line of existing road. No impediments, including fencing, landscaping, structures, driveway entrance structures shall be placed within the road right of way. No snow from driveways to be put up placed into the county road right of way. And then we have this statement in here that says Granite Road has heavier seasonal use during the summer months. During these times, homeowners may see an increase in traffic deaths and road degradation. I can add, let me see if I have one. I don't have anything that specifically says the county won't increase services, but I can certainly add that into that statement that just
I
says
think we need,
Granite County will not increase services, including snow
I
plowing.
think we gotta start doing that on
Grading, yeah.
everything when it comes in, cause it's just, next thing you know, they turn around the realtor or something, oh no, the county, you know.
Mhm. And you just add that.
Do they have do they have to have a water system in there then?
No, they'll have wells and septics.
Okay.
Services to. And I'll have Wayne look at it too before we finish it. So I'll add that part in that says that Grant County will not increase services to Granite Road due to including plowing, grading, et cetera, dust abatement due to this subdivision. So, they have to have a road easement maintenance, that's for that shared driveway. We just note that they can't park vehicles at any time within the Granite County road right of way. They have to show their snow removal areas. And we usually ask for that just because if we don't have them put somewhere on their map that says snow removal, they wanna, now the two guys that are, the three going down, they're gonna shove down the hill. They're not gonna be a problem. But those two guys up on the top, they're gonna wanna shove down the hill too. And that's right into the county road right away. So they're gonna have to figure out a place to pile their snow up on top of push up, which is not ideal, but it is what you get when you buy
That's the
that lot.
problem, start shoving it down there and then they'll say, well, the county will have to kick it off, well,
Yeah,
we don't need no more.
and these are in here for enforcement purposes so that, and we are party, so these are covenants that we are party to as well. So if we have a person that just starts shoving their snow repeatedly into Granite Road, we can have Blaine send them a letter saying, hey, you can't do that according to your covenants, we're party, knock it off. And if they keep doing it, then, I would assume that there's some kind of legal action at that point that we could take to either clear it out ourselves and send them a bill and see if that stops them from doing it, or.
Well, we're getting a bunch of it right now, because nobody was really prepared now.
Exactly.
We're getting a lot of snow
Yeah.
shoved down the roads, and it's a hazard, you come flying around and you get where somebody shoves something out there.
Is it just that, you're talking about all the covenants will be part, or just the specific ones that involve?
Just
County
the,
road.
just the ones that are that we require as part of the subdivision, we're party to.
Yeah,
Everything else that they wanna put in about how their houses look or how, we don't care about.
cause, yeah, you guys don't want drug into that litigation, but yeah, but protecting
Yeah,
county roads and
yeah, the
public
only,
safety.
that's all that we're party to are the ones that we require as part of the subdivision. So they're usually things associated with roads, utilities, fire, things like that. And then the only other, and then when, I did talk to Tom Rue on this one at the planning board level, and he was saying that he thinks that putting it in the covenants is the best plan, because the realtors are really getting to the point where they're requiring people to read those covenants and sign a sheet saying that they read the covenants prior to purchasing. So at that point, they can't say, they may still come back and say, well, I didn't know, but it's not our fault you didn't know, you didn't do your due diligence at that time. So, and then the only other condition that the planning board added is a statement regarding the historical tram stuff that's on some of the properties, and just noting that that the property owners can't remove or alter that stuff. They have to just leave that stuff sitting there at the bottom of their properties. Cause there is like a little, like I said, there's some kind of interpretive sign from, I don't know if it's Fish, Wildlife, Life and Parks or who has the sign there, but there's some kind of interpretive little site about the tram that used to go up into there on the road portion of the property. And then there's some, it sounds like all it is some concrete footings and maybe some cable. So it's not a big deal.
So we'd make a motion to accept this on the conditions that you've changed, right?
With the 24 conditions as amended, yep.
I'll make that motion that we accept this on the 24 conditions
As amended,
as amended.
because we did amend them here too.
I second it.
Public comment? All in favor?
I
Hey, I will let him know, and then I'll get together with Miranda to get the letter together so that she knows what you guys need to sign. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Mhm. Thank you,
Coming
Linda.
back to your office?
I hope so. I gotta jump a bunch of stuff.
Well, we don't have lunch till 12 o'clock.
We don't?
Cause that's the only time we could get,
Or is the best time, I think, one.
yeah. Is there any other stuff?
I can draft that letter that goes to the Department of Transportation right now.
Okay, if we do that, and then did you, send that email out to Fish?
Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Dan Brewer with US Fish and Wildlife Services, his email said he's gonna be back today, so hopefully it's today, and I asked for a response today if they call possible.
I'm just worried if this gets to that
Yeah.
farm, as they said, we're gonna. The Silver Lake's got a lot too.
It's snowing up, well, it was just snowing.
It's still kind of spitting.
Well,
Oh, it's blizzarding out here.
What's that, Paul?
It is blizzarding out here.
yeah.
It's a whiteout.
You were praying for it, right?
How's that cabin going?
Yeah, it's making it pretty rough. I can tell you that. Every time I move snow, it snows another foot, and
Yeah.
That's why you make that big bucks for them cows.
right. But no, I agree that if we can get that dam opened up today or tomorrow, because I think there's going to be a lot of water next week.
Yeah, cause only being at 9 inches, I tell you what, that could come fast.
Yeah.
Especially with the, it starts, yeah.
Especially if we're not freezing at night. I haven't really looked at the temps for nighttime, but if we don't freeze at night, we're really going to flood.
Well, somebody said we're supposed to start getting cold at night, like down single digits or something, but
Oh,
I like 9/16.
tonight's supposed to be down to 9 and drum.
Oh, is it? Phillipsburg said 16, Wednesday 13, Thursday 22, so, but the temperatures are coming, daytime temperatures are coming up.
Yeah, there's,
45 on Monday, 43
Yeah.
on Sunday,
and we're getting
40, 48 next Thursday.
30% today and 30% tomorrow snow too.
All right, I'll work on that letter.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Blaine.
Have you requested for the dam?
What's that?
Open it?
You can come up here,
Oh.
that's fine, you don't,
Sorry.
blind side, we can't hear you.
Have you requested for the dam to be open and you just haven't heard back, or?
We're trying to get the outflow, we're at 12, we wanna get it up to 15, just kind of a safety, we don't.
Right.
And we gotta go through the 3 agencies, and sometimes they take their sweet time getting back to us, we missed a whole week.
Okay.
That's a bad deal on, if that thing,
Mhm. I know. So you said Fish and Wildlife, who else? What are the other two agencies you have to request?
Fish, Wildlife Parks and US Fish and,
Wildlife Service.
USGS.
and
USGS.
then we got to talk to FERC. And
Forest Service.
there's a bunch of them that are involved, they don't. And to keep everybody happy on this is not nice.
Right, okay. DOI, ecological survey, you're taking out of another project to pay.
We'll probably have to if we don't have no money in there in
What's that?
Flint Creek. If we don't have money, we'll have to go in the field again and we can't keep robbing either.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and we don't get the electric sales. Cause we only get 10%, and then when there's very little water coming out, then they don't get that much electricity generated, so.
We used to get like 80,000 a year, and now we don't even get that. Cause it's so
Yeah.
regulated now, they tell us what we can and can't do, and it's,
And that's the only revenue that comes into Flint Creek project.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have to supplement it.
and
We have to supplement, there isn't anything we can do about it.
when the price is up in electricity, we can only let out so much, cause that's all they'll. With them other agencies where we could be making a little bit more money, but we can't. And it's just a no-win deal.
What was that grant that we wanted that we didn't get because we didn't, what was that for?
DNR's state one, they took it away from us. $75,000.
We're doing improvements to the dam, right? We requested.
We got part 12 coming up, we got all that other stuff coming up, and we thought we could get that stuff, help us, and they took the grant away from us. We were number one.
Did they say why they took it away? And it was the NRC?
It's a state grant, right, and then there's a DNR, I think it is a DNR.
The NRC.
Yeah.
grant.
Yeah, I always get that other one mixed up with that, but yeah, they took it away.
Yeah, well, they reappropriated it or something, and you had to have some kind of match, only we weren't told you had to have a match, and so we were bumped off. And then we found out we needed a match, and we asked, can we give a match? And they said,
Too late.
nope. And as simple as that, no, you can't have a match, and how dare us not have a match first go round. So, yeah, it's.
If there's so much stuff that they keep coming up with, we're gonna have this spring, they'll come out and look at it again, and they just find every little thing.
Right.
And it's all $10,000 plus.
Right, okay.
I think the part 12 is over 60,000, isn't it? I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
After every 5 years or something, holy down.
Right.
They want to buy a dam.
I wish that kind of money.
I just give it. We've asked a few people wanting to buy it, though, haven't we?
So we ordered the tabs. Did we order folders? Oh, and they got folders,
Well, they're just dividers.
dividers, that works.
Yep, we'll put long
Three.
term on them.
3 thingy. 3 punch, but 3 punch. Yep, okay. I'll probably figure out a day and come in here and start sorting this and we'll try to get this organized.
Okay.
I don't know how we're gonna get started on some kind of spreadsheet. So we gotta get the names of the roads. We gotta get some kind of road book started. It's a job that is gonna have to sit down and take a few minutes to figure out what we need to do.
Right.
Cause every road needs to be marked and documented when it was maintained and when it got gravel and when it got this and that. And we've been asking to get it done and it just isn't. So I don't know, I guess it's gonna be up to us to try to do it.
Yeah, take some back and forth.
Yeah, yeah. So.
Okay.
Is Janine back?
Yeah.
She, can see if they got that plug in working or something. I think melting that ice.
Huh?
You know, that whole trough that,
Is she not plugging it in, or she probably can't
well, I
get to
don't
it?
know if it's, need to look at it, see if we have to get in there, cause if it gets melted, we're in trouble.
Yeah. We have audit reports filed. Report. Named roads. What?
Just A's.
88 building compliance audit, nothing audit. We should have. So we have the the draft one, but we don't have. So the copy was supposed to be in here for the. We should have dating back a few years, but I don't know. So we could get it out of the clerk and recorder's office. Don't mind me, I'm rambling.
You're good.
That's one, two. So it's known the only time that you could,
It was just Blaine suggested the best time. Just to give you.
is he gonna join us? Do you know?
Yes.
We'll go off. We're gonna go off, Paul, for a while.
All right, I'll jump back on here and like, I don't know, quarter 10 to something like that. That work?
Sounds good, bud.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm not doing much because it keeps us talking. All through the roads, I get through the Ski Hill Road. The backside. And then I'm just gonna do a couple other things on that. Then tomorrow, I got about 126 left to do. 2 days. That's gonna warm up to your best. How you doing? Good, how are you? Good. Yeah. Awful quiet. Yeah, downtime.
Hi.
Now are you there? Okay. So wait for everybody to get on.
So we can bring some chairs up here. I think, say Blaine can sit here. Yeah. You guys want to get close?
Hey.
If you have no chairs, we can bring a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good winner.
Hey Miranda, what's in there then?
They were supposed to go.
That way, at least here.
Paul was supposed to take them. They're just playing blank.
Okay.
All right, well, it's a few minutes.
So Blaine gonna be here?
Said he
So
was.
we have Paul on Zoom.
Hello.
Hello. Still have a minute.
Retired, Rich, I'm not worried about it.
Hmm?
I'm retired, I don't worry about that. Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see, it's getting get kind of loud. What, hey, you guys can come up here.
Hey, Blaine, right?
Hello. Good, how are you?
Good.
Well, we got a couple minutes yet. We're waiting for State Representative John Fitzpatrick to get on.
Then they weld all the bottom, gold. None of the words of everything apart. Oh, that one that I watched. They're down there for 3 weeks. And one dude that was kind of-
Dr. Stokey, I did, talk with the commissioners and with the county attorney on our conversation. And, I visited with Paul, I explained to him that you wanted to kind of have a general meeting, not necessarily with the commission, but just to feel your way on what you guys would maybe like to do going forward. So I just wanted to tell you that they know that I discussed it with you.
Were you able to get a hold of Forest Service at all? I left messages several times, the camera's gone now. Now I'm trying to get a hold of somebody that's underneath him that's still in charge, and I haven't been able to do that yet.
What, is he on vacation or?
He's not back till the third.
And cameras are being banned for a couple of weeks yet, so at any rate, we will get somebody to represent them. Too, there should be there.
What about that lady in, Dillon? Isn't she the main one? Dillon or what, with?
I could probably call her and see who she wants me to talk to.
I think that's what it always gets kicked back to anyway, and then they gotta make the approval
The,
or something.
yeah, well, kind of.
Alrighty, well, it's 12 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started here. We're still waiting for Mr. Fitzpatrick to get on.
Well, you can start the conversation. I mean, part of it was the overall, trying to work things out with Mr. Fitzpatrick, but also talk about what the plan is on Lake Shore Drive.
You wanna start?
We'll wait for John. What?
Huh?
Yeah, I think we could, while we're waiting for John, you could kind of tell me what the status of Lake Shore Drive is now, basically for the record, what's happening.
Right now, they got a grader and a blade. I just got told that they're trying to kick the stuff back, and then, Deer Lodge and Anaconda have not plowed up the hauled up the, whoop. So, but, trying to do it back and get.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, graded a couple times this winter and then, snowplowed several times with a grader sitting up there at the fire hall, the county grader. So, and the plan is for it to be maintained, or snowplowed here this winter.
Yeah.
And hopefully give us the, time to work things out. I don't think we need Mr. Fitzpatrick here to talk about things. I mean, let's sit down and try to chat about a plan going forward. So, but
I guess what we wanna know the most is what's gonna happen May 1st.
That's the whole big deal. Forest Service needs to come to the table.
That's what I mean, that Forest Service saying.
I mean, we're all sitting there.
Yeah.
What was that? Mine, don't, let's just stay, okay?
yes,
We're not
please
gonna
stay
get
positive.
it.
We're trying to stay positive.
Well, we gotta move forward. I mean,
Well, you can't do nothing until the Forest Service
Right,
comes.
exactly.
I'm not gonna get in a big fight or I'll shut it down right now.
I'm not getting in a fight with anybody.
It's your little things over here, shaking your head and doing that. We don't need to start out this way.
I'm not
We
starting out
gotta
anyway.
work together,
Yeah.
okay?
That's what you got.
I've always worked out.
Yeah, let's work.
So,
Let's work.
one thing
Hold
that-
it, everybody's talking, one person at a time.
One
Sorry.
thing that, I noticed from the hearing is that you, as homeowners at the lake, may be interested in getting yourself a special district going. Which you can, there's already statutes out there to do that. But the expense is something that,
I'd rather see the county try to resolve it, Forest Service to try to get that nailed down prior to looking at that even, but, it's definitely.
You want me to, I can give you the plan. John,
well, I'm not chairman.
you can't get it to, work.
Yeah, I like it, talk to Miranda. I can't hear him.
Or you could call in on the
You want to
speaker.
just call in on that regular phone, 859-7022.
Yep.
I can't hear, I'm sorry. I don't know if you heard that.
Did you hear that? 859 what?
7022.
7022.
2-3.
Yeah,
This is
so
2-2. Oh.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that, hopefully we can like get some issues or lined out for an agenda. But I think that we need to sit down with the Forest Service, all of us and them before, I don't think we should be getting all hot and bothered and everything right now. But I don't know. I feel that this meeting's more of like a preliminary deal for our next meeting of going forward and resolving this with the Forest Service, and if not with the Forest Service, then we're gonna have to figure a way to move forward on this, is my thoughts.
Comment on that?
Well, yeah, that's basically why I requested that we get a committee together to deal with this. Cause it's gonna take everybody at the table to do this, including, if not especially the Forest Service. To see what the options are. And how much money everybody's gonna have to come up with and do a good job on this road.
Yep, they can see it.
And then see what the goals are. There's bits on, so.
Can you hear us? John, can you hear us? You gotta unmute yourself. No, you're still quiet. You gotta unmute yourself.
There you go.
I think we're set to go now, okay?
Yep.
All right, are we set to go?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. Who's he seeing on his camera?
What you're seeing.
That top of the room?
Yeah, well, see, that thing's moving around. Anytime anybody talks, see this little owl? It'll pick it, like when you're talking, it'll lay right at you.
Well, you've upgraded.
We're trying to do the best.
Go ahead, Vince, you're up. All right, thank you. Well, I want to say thank you for the letter that I received from you. You you indicated that you hope that we could have a discussion to reconsider House Bill 6, where Granite County had two applications submitted. And I guess I'm kind of interested in the fact that for the first time in about 3 years, all of a sudden Granite County Commission wants to have some kind of a working relationship with me. In all honesty, I'm rather confused, if not stunned, by this particular change of course. But before we kind of get into that, and before we talk about House Bill 6, I want to take a little walk down memory lane and talk about past, present, and future. In 2022, when I started to campaign for this job to represent Granite County in the state legislature, I started knocking on doors in Drummond. I went through Max Hall and Maxville and Phillipsburg, Georgetown Lake, the West Valley, and ended up at a trailer court near Fairmont Hot Springs. And I received two very distinctly different kinds of perspectives about the legislature in the two counties that I was then seeking to represent in the legislature. In Deer Lodge County, the whole issue was about Warm Springs and the prison and the instability in the state institutions. In Granite County, the refrain that I heard more often than anything was the fact that Granite County was not represented in the legislature. That in fact, you hadn't been represented in the legislature for years because you had been represented by a Democrat from Anaconda, who for the most part didn't even know that you existed. So when I got to Helena, I went to work for Granite County. And when that session was ended, I brought home $19.5 million to address problems in Granite County. $17.5 million was for agricultural water projects, fixing East Fork Dam and money for the Allendale Ditch. I brought $1.1 million to the town of Phillipsburg to deal with water and wastewater issues, and $850,000 down in Drummond for wastewater and bridge replacement. Now, out of that particular effort, I developed a particularly good working relationship with Anaconda Deer Lodge County, with the town of Phillipsburg, with the town of Drummond, with the city of Deer Lodge, with Paul County, and the Department of Corrections, which is the single largest employer in the three-county area. What about Granite? Initially, I never heard anything from the leadership in the courthouse team. But when I decided to run for re-election, what happened? The courthouse team, led by Chuck Hinkle and Brad Shaw, turned on me like a bunch of hungry jackals and worked to throw me out of office. I did more for Granite County in one legislative session than all of the people that have represented that county in the last 60 years combined. Now, I realize that what I say may be just a little bit too subtle for the group there in the room, but when you stab a man in the back after he bends over backwards to help the people of Granite County, it's a pretty clear message that you do not want a working relationship with him. Now we'll fast forward to the month of November 2024. I am very heavily involved in correctional issues, and one of the major problems we have in this state is that we have our county jails full of felons that for which there's no room in the correctional system, and people that we can't get into Warm Springs. In 2023, I had a conversation with Mr. Bradshaw, and he told me about an inmate who sat in the Granite County Jail for over 60 days because there was no room at Warm Springs. In November, I went up to his office to talk to him about jail holds, but before I could say a single word, he walked out of his office door and said to me, "Until you apologize to Dave Kessler, you are not welcome in my office." I don't think I have ever seen anything less professional by a man of that stature in my entire life. But that's another good signal that Granite County doesn't want a working relationship with me. Now, let's be real clear about one thing. I am never going to apologize to Dave Kessler for telling the truth about the man. He comes to Helena repeatedly to support legislation which basically inhibits law enforcement and child protective services from dealing with cases of child abuse. His personal philosophy is utterly reprehensible to me.
Can we really be talking about other people? I don't think.
Yeah, well, we're going to continue, Blaine, I'm going to continue my discussion here and then we'll get on to it because this is what sets the stage for you.
And move on. We'd
I
like to
informed
apologize
Mr. No,
and move on.
again, when the county turned me and then after and now we come to House Bill 6, one of 9 bills that I'm carrying for the governor's office, which makes up the 12 bills that makes up his budget. As introduced, that bill contains 70 projects for funding, including 2 from Granite County. Then the budget office discovered that there was an error in the revenue estimate, and they went back through the bill to find out what they could cut. They went over it, and they found that there were 2 projects out of 70 that did not come with any matching funds. And they put together a series of amendments, and they cut the 2 projects for Granite County out. Very simply put, as the budget director put it to me, if it's not important enough for Granite County to fund it, it's not important enough for the state of Montana to do the same thing. When we heard the bill, Mr. Bradshaw showed up on Zoom. His testimony was not particularly persuasive. And a half hour after the meeting adjourns, I get a text from him basically trying to intimidate me. Now let's get something real clear. I work for the people of House District 76. I do not work for the Granite County Commission, and I am not the least bit intimidated by Mr. Bradshaw's action. That's the 3rd time in basically 1 year in which Granite County demonstrated to me that it had no interest in a working relationship with me. If this was baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. Now all of a sudden you want a working relationship with me. I'm not that much of a fool. The only thing that Granite County wants is the funding contained in House Bill 6 so that it doesn't have to spend county money maintaining property that the county is fully responsible for. At this point, the 2 Granite County projects have been removed from House Bill 6, and it is highly unlikely that they will be restored. Because there's a shortage of money, you will be joined by about 20 other water and wastewater projects that won't be funded, and with about 16 irrigation projects. And then there's House Bill 7, the Reclamation Grant Program. It contains a stream bed restoration project down in the Hall area. It's below the funding line because of the shortage of money and it will not be funded. This grant request is just like HB 6. No matching money from Granite County, even though Trout Unlimited was willing to put in its cash. Incidentally, while Granite County can't put up any money of its own project, the budget shows over $22,000 being paid to Granite County for administration. At this point in time, Granite County Commission and its leadership team has absolutely 0 credibility in Helena with either the legislature or the Gianforte administration. And you did it to yourselves. And now you want me to fix things for you. Really? I am now supposed to make things good so that you can glom onto somebody else's money. Granite County has a long history of never wanting to spend its own money on issues that are its responsibility. Cases in point, refusing the federal funds to fix the Georgetown Lake roads in 2020, refusing to fix the bridge on South Main in Drummond in 2023, refusing to put your own cash into repairs needed for county-owned dam in 2005. If you had actually put the money up for those facilities for $300,000, you would have solved all of those problems and you still would have had 90% of the balance that you have in your checkbook. You bill yourself as conservatives. There's absolutely nothing conservative about you. You're a bunch of freeloaders who want everybody to pay your bills, and I'm not having any part of it. Now you're in a hole, you're in a big hole, you're in a hole that you dug yourself, and in the short term, there's only one person that can pull you out of that hole, and that's John Fitzpatrick. But before I offer you that hand, you're going to need to make a major course correction in the utterly incompetent way you manage the county's infrastructure and the insensitive way you treat the citizens. You should start by making a commitment to treating the people fairly at Georgetown Lake and down in Drummond, and make the financial commitment necessary to repair the Georgetown roads and replace that bridge on South Main in Drummond. And you should back off from your infernal arrogance and reach out to the people in the county and do what you can to help. It's very likely that there's going to be more money available for housing this session,
And maybe it's time you need to consider the hospital in Phillipsburg and the schools in Drummond and Phillipsburg and assist them with their workforce housing needs. You arrogantly just turned that money away, $200,000, without having a conversation with the museum folks or with talking with developers like Sandstrom. And you've done this to yourself. Now, I'm happy to help Granite County, but Granite County is going to have to start helping itself. A few days ago, Mr. Bradshaw stood at a podium and pledged that Granite would work to resolve the road issue in Georgetown. Now, I suggest that you start negotiations very quickly. You've got several members from the Georgetown Lake Homeowners Association that are willing to work with you and are willing to work with the Forest Service to resolve these problems. And I'll guarantee you, if you sit down and make a decent effort to work with these folks, you're going to solve that problem in a hell of a lot less expensive manner than the alternative. I also recently learned from Mayor Leeper down in Drummond that once again, you had to have a discussion with Commissioner Adler about replacing the bridge and fixing the bridge in Drummond. And again, the answer was a hard no. Maybe it's time to rethink that. I'm actually fairly certain that I might be able to get some of the money or half of the money needed to fix that from the state, but it's only going to start happening when you start working with the town of Drummond. Now, that's my opening statement. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. But I can tell you where you sit right here today. There's no money coming out of the Montana legislature for Granite County. I do have a bill which has passed the House of Representatives, which will put money into a competitive grant program for senior citizens across the state of Montana, of which the senior citizen program in Drummond and in Phillipsburg will be eligible. And I'm also working on getting some money for the museum project, although that's probably several days out. So I'm not forgetting the people of Granite County. But if Granite County wants a real working relationship with me for the benefit of the people, then you guys are going to need to change course, and you need to change course very quickly. Are there any questions that you might wish to ask me?
I have a question for you, Representative Fitzpatrick. You mentioned the $200,000 available monies for, you thought that the museum could use that money for improvements and stuff. My understanding that money was set aside for homeowners, first by homeowners for their down payment. And that was what it was going to be used for, was their down payment for their homes. It wasn't a bill that was giving money to the museum to improve the museum. It was for personal loans. Am I correct in?
Well, the county commission is going through the program.
Commissioner, the money that came there was in fact for that kind of thing. The part that irritated me was the fact that you never even bothered to try to have a conversation with the museum or with any of the. You've got Dave Sandstrom in town who's doing development up there in the old high school. He may have some other projects in mind. You never reached out. I agree that if it's simply for helping people with down payments, then the problem at the museum would probably not likely take place. But the problem here is you never even tried to talk to anybody in Phillipsburg or Drummond about it. And that's the issue. It's this insular attitude that you sit up there in that courthouse and you make decisions without consulting the folks in your community. There may have been no opportunity to get anything done with that particular housing thing. But the part that irritates me is that you didn't even try.
Wayne has a comment.
Go ahead.
So I realize your frustrations. The purpose of this meeting was to not ask for reconsideration. It's for trying to have a working relationship. We apologize that we haven't had that relationship. I think you and I did have a good relationship once upon a time. That's been hurt, but beyond that, we can agree to disagree. But let's work on projects that'll help the people. We've never been against that.
Well, Mr. Bradshaw, I would disagree with that. You had a chance 4 years ago to land an enormous amount of federal money to deal with that road at Georgetown. And then Commissioner Hinkle led the charge to kill the project. It went away. Okay, you had a chance to pick up a match of about 15 federal dollars for every county dollar, and you wouldn't move forward with it. And the excuse is it was a federal road. Yeah, it's a federal road. You also have a contract with the Forest Service to maintain that road. And what you guys have done between that action and your actions last week is to attempt to abrogate a contract that you willingly entered into. I'm going to read you a little copy here just for the record so that everybody in the room understands what's going on. On January 23rd of 2024, a letter was sent to the Forest Service signed by 2 of the commissioners. And the language in it says, we need to begin limiting the maintenance and support we provide on Lakeshore Drive and refer concerned residents to the USFS to pursue the permitting process to complete their own maintenance. We would like to enable sufficient time to enable the residents on Lakeshore Drive time to create some sort of association to complete maintenance and are willing to complete maintenance in the form of blading this spring as well as snow plowing this winter. Then you spent much of 2024 figuring out how to get out of it. And I go back to the letter, you justified reducing your maintenance level because Granite County do not have the financial means to invest in repairs at this time. You had $3 million sitting in the bank. You've had $3 million sitting in the bank for the last several years. That's a combination of general fund dollars, road fund dollars, and bridge fund dollars. General fund dollars can be used for anything. You can use them on roads. You can use them to build a new hospital. You can do anything with that money. You simply chose not to. And when you sent that letter to the Forest Service, in my opinion, you not only lied to your business partner on that, you lied to all of the people in the community. Okay, so that's case history. You've said you want the homeowners to work with you on that. Fine, they're sitting in the room. Let's get the negotiation process started. The minute you get this process going with Georgetown and do something down in the town of Drummond, you're going to find me to be very, very helpful to the people in Granite County. But up till now, you haven't been doing a very good job.
Lane, go ahead.
So my understanding is from talking to Dr. Stokey is that the homeowners are going to meet and they'll come back to the commission. The commission's also going to meet with Cameron Razor. Once he's back, he's going to be gone for a couple more weeks. So my understanding is there are meetings planned. We'll also talk to Cameron Razor about flap because he did say that there would be potentials for more flap opportunities. So that the flap is not over. He came and said there'll be opportunities with flap.
Well, frankly, Mr. Bradshaw, I think that's excellent. And I appreciate the fact that you're willing to sit down with the folks and get moving on this. I do want to mention one other opportunity that may come to fruition. I was contacted several days ago by Chief Executive in Anaconda Deer Lodge, Bill Everett, and he is interested in pursuing a grant program for the complete redevelopment of the roads around Georgetown Lake. It would be a Granite County, Deer Lodge County partnership along with a very substantial part of federal money. And both entities are going to have to kick up some match. Unfortunately, because of my schedule and Everett's, I haven't been able to contact him or haven't been able to reach him, I should say, and get that information. But in my mind, there may be an opportunity there between with Deer Lodge County and with each others to really take care of those roads at Georgetown. And I think it'd be a wonderful first step for you guys to move forward with this, starting with the local homeowners and then working with them and the Forest Service. It's a great start. I commend you for it.
That sounds good to me. Ever since Commissioner Klasky's came on board, he's been interested in meeting with the Forest Service, and so that's something that was on his radar. So
yeah, it's a good start, and I understand. Yes,
excuse me, Mr. Fitzpatrick. I don't know if you know me, but I'm Paul Kolaski. I am the new commissioner for the Southern District there that includes Georgetown. Yeah, I know there's been some bad blood over the last couple of years, but I would like to, move forward in a positive way. And I do want to sit down with the homeowners of Georgetown and go through this process and see what we can do to get back to that agreement that we had with the Forest Service and things like that to maintain the road. And I'm open to sit down and have discussions and positive ones, and hopefully we can move forward on a good foot with the new commission here.
Well, I appreciate that, Commissioner, and I'd encourage you folks to get onto that right away and move on stuff. There may be some opportunities yet for us to address some things in the legislature, but we're going to have to move quickly on these things. Thank you. Well, gentlemen, unless you don't have any other questions for me, I have to depart for a House floor session and a quick meeting in between. I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you today. Hopefully we can move the ball forward on a much more positive plane for all of the people in Granite County.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I will reach out to Miranda or through Blaine, maybe to have another conversation with you in the next couple of weeks to see how things are progressing.
Sounds good.
Sounds fine. Well, thank you so much for your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Comments?
Yeah, Commissioner Kolaski, I'm Chuck Stokey. I would like to thank you for the offer and your willingness to participate. That's a positive step forward. I'll look forward to working with you. We've already committed people for this meeting. We don't need to meet with the homeowners on that part of this. We can move ahead anytime. Given what Everett's willing to do, I think it's a good idea to include somebody from Deer Lodge County to start to weave this into the whole big picture of this whole thing.
That's the first time I've heard anything from them.
I've heard rumors of it before. And they're doing repaving work on the Deer Lodge side of the county line by Denton's coming up this summer. And the fact that they have an asphalt plant and resources, you guys should be jumping all over that offer.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So he's gonna want something for the effort, and so you gotta be willing to not say no. It's terrible. Yeah, I mean, that beat from Denton's up past my place needs resurfacing. It's not just, you can't just keep patching on top of holes anymore.
That's half-inch at chip coat.
It
was never pavement to begin with.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we could talk about. Everett actually went to one of the people that live in that other stretch, just on the east side of Denton, and said, "What's one of the worst roads up at Georgetown? We'd like to do some work for you guys." He said, "Let's do that piece up to Denton's." And they said, "Sure, okay, let's do it." That's the kind of relationship we want with you guys. Instead of having, we want out of all these agreements. I sat in that homeowners meeting in the summertime, and I sat in from Mexico on that Zoom when everybody was in this room and they were mad as hell. We went back to the homeowners meeting and they were still mad as hell. People are upset, and Fitz is the tip of the iceberg. I've been hearing all kinds of stuff like that. People want to protest their taxes. They want to boycott businesses in Phillipsburg. I try to dissuade those conversations. If you can hurt people you don't want to hurt. But that's the mentality that's going on in the lake community right now. So that needs to be turned around. Like I said, we're willing to work with you, but we don't want to hear a lot of no's. We can't do this. Because the consequences are out there. People are angry. Some are militant. Some have protested in the past.
No,
I
I
agree with you. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Paul. I was just gonna say, just wish you guys would have came and sat down with us in January and talked to Mr. Kolaski versus House Bill 369. That's not the answer. Let's work together versus 369. And I'm not, and I'm not bringing up working together because of 369. I mean, I'd had talks with Mr. Kolaski well prior to that, and he was ready and willing to try to talk with Cameron Razor.
Go ahead, Dan.
I guess that's why we're here now. We're hoping to talk to them. We're hoping to get this thing going and try to figure something out, because coming in every May, every fall, fighting just to try to get it done. We don't want to do that anymore. We want to try to figure something out.
All right.
I agree with that too. I mean, I thought the last spring was a bad stain. I thought of, kind of what I've heard, on the paper and stuff like that of what went down. But for you guys there, I mean, you can get my contacts from Miranda there. like my email, my cell phone, all that. And, we can have talks. I can come up and meet you up there. We can look at stuff or whatever we need to do to move forward positively here.
Thank you, Paul. Go ahead, Elena. Sorry, Dan. She's waving.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, for the record. I too am a property owner up at Georgetown Lake area, as well as in Phillipsburg. And I just want to thank Representative Fitzpatrick for bringing this to light and that we can work together because we are the public and we are property tax payers. I just want to say it's not just the lake community that's not happy about how things were handled. If you remember, both the county and the town of Phillipsburg voted for a local government review. There's a reason for it. And I hope that's going to be a little bit more open to the public. I'm glad that there's a different attitude. I welcome Commissioner Kolaski, and hopefully we can work things differently, have open meetings, know about the meetings, and we can all participate in it. Again, thank you, and I'm looking forward to changes.
Any other public comment? I don't know that.
I'm going to just make one more point on that House bill that we testified on the other day. People want to take their destiny in their own hands because they're not getting any help down here. So that was the reason for that. I mean, it's like, we don't want to devalue our property. We want good roads, and nobody thinks you're going to do it for us. And so it's like, let's get the money and do it ourselves. I realize there's problems with that, but everybody's willing to step out. I have people say, tell me how much you need. So the will is there to pursue that avenue. I'd rather work it out in a group and to everybody's satisfaction. You guys have got some stuff you can gain out of this whole effort. So, yeah, I'm not saying no. I think it's, in fact, Lynch and I have talked about this. Let's make it happen.
All right, anything else?
All right.
Well,
Thanks for coming down, guys.
Thanks. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Yes.
Miranda, can you get us his contact information?
Yeah, I can write it down for you.
I guess we'll adjourn. That was our last thing for today, and we'll adjourn.
Like set an agenda date or wait until we talk to Cameron?
When was
No,
Cameron
what-
going to be back? The 3rd, you said?
Cameron's not gonna be back till the 3rd, but with everything that's going on with the Forest Service, with Trump and everything else, I don't know where that stuff is at.
Let me make some inquiries and
Get back with us.
see who is available in the chain of command to take his place while he's gone, so we can start move on this. I'm sure he's not totally out of touch. I mean, he can still be part of this whole thing.
I just can't think of that lady's name. She's.
So when do we
I can find that out.
do our contract with Forest Service? When is that up again?
Usually that, it's usually in the spring. They start bringing it up.
Well,
Yeah.
and just a second.
Just a second, let her finish.
We'll plow as going forward, we're plowing. And there were dates on there that they're up there on a regular basis. And as a matter of fact, they had a grader out paid. With all the snow, I'm sure it's probably, you're not hitting the potholes and stuff.
I'll be following him on the 3rd today.
Well, I drove Lakeshore Drive. It's been it was a good shape last Friday. But hopefully continue.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
state your name and that.
Brian Clark of Georgetown Lake Homeowners Association president. I have talked to Cameron, me and Dan have many times, and as far as he is concerned, the deal that he said told us that he's gonna put another 20,000 to go from the mailboxes toward Dan's house for sure, and then he'll do another 20, or he went over budget this year, but another time to get to the tar there. And that was his plan, and he said he was sticking to that. So that was 2 months ago, we talked to him.
Yeah, that's positive.
May I say one more thing before we adjourn? Representative Fitzpatrick made mention of the money that we have that's available at the end of the fiscal year, and he included the general fund and the road fund, and the general fund at the end of 23 was 3,192,000. What's in the general fund is everything. I mean, you've got the sheriff's office, and that money is committed. It's not that we have that money. What's in the road fund, they collected 374,331 in just tax dollars from countywide. So the road fund and their levy is a lot less than the countywide levy. But also, we didn't get the SRS money either that we anticipated, which is like 335,000. We didn't get that. So when they went for the road to get it fixed, it was 1 million. And it was 90,000 match at first, and we met that match, then they upped it to 400,000. Well, that's the tax base, and that's half the budget for the road fund, for the 400,000. Where were we supposed to get that 400,000?
You know as well as I do that had you guys had the courtesy of talking to the grant writer, which was the Forest Service, that they could have had that modified with the highway fund. Now, I know that's water under the bridge, but you're bringing it back up.
Cameron said it was that we'd get another flat grant would come down with a lesser match. That's what he said.
Okay, Blaine, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you go to a car dealer and you're negotiating on a car and there's a misunderstanding there, it doesn't matter who the commissioners are here. You're still dealing with the same outfit in DC. You're still dealing with the same staff. They're going to see what you guys did. So the reality is, when it comes to this, and I love to hear with Mr. Everett wants to get in here and do this. Granite County needs to grab that and hold on like it's an infant and not let go. Because the odds of Granite County's name being on something where the staff are going to come back and say, yeah, I think we should do this, is going to be pretty difficult because of your past
So you're
actions.
saying there's a lot of vindictive people around, Mike?
No, I'm not
Whatever you're
saying there's
saying.
vindictive. I'm just saying they're going to look at that and say, well, we've got a history here. There's others out here that might be more deserving. That's all
All
I'm
right,
saying.
okay, but let's
I don't want to see this.
Yeah,
Let's move forward.
We're adjourning.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
I'll look forward to hear you guys, and like I said, I'll come meet with you guys and discuss things with you.
Oh, we appreciate it. You're a breath of fresh air.
Could you type that up for me?
All right, have a good day.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Paul. So we see you
Thanks,
next
Paul. I
week.
got your number.
Hey, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, the only reason that I wouldn't come too is that I think you need to visit with Paul
We agreed. We agreed.
versus both